Hello everyone, and welcome to this session of the Devouring Dark. Um, Last time, the group found each other again after being separated, strangely, uh, under weird circumstances. And the group kept continuing on until they encountered a few minor skirmishes, I would say, along the way. However, they eventually did manage to get to the necromancer's lair, which is where we left off. So, if anything needs to be revisited, we might do that, but those other encounters were relatively minor, so they didn't really affect the story much. They were just things that you encountered along the way and destroyed them as you went. The
Yeah.
only real thing that happened was that Howler picked up a sword. That was the only thing that will be carrying on into this one, pretty much. Um, as you guys begin, or you guys, I'll start off again where you guys are standing on the outside of the lair. The lair is basically the Undying Woods isn't an even plain. It's not like flat or anything. There's little hills and everything as you guys have been going through. Um, but the trees seem to be planted in such a way that they seem purposeful, organized in such a way like an orchard would be. There are rows where you can get between, and there are little spaces between the trees that you can get past them, which is how you've gotten this far. Um, Walking along the paths that don't have trees and only crossing them when you needed to very quickly because you know that the trees can animate and hurt people as they did with Zerskan. Um, so, um, you approach another one of these hills, and the necromancer says, "We're here." And he motions towards one of the hills. It just appears to be a normal hill, pretty much, until you get to the other side of it, and it has a tree on top of it. And there's a tree beside it on either side. And on the opposite end of where you guys were approaching it from, there's just a little part of the hill is just sort of carved out, and there's a door on in this little carved out section of the hill. And he just sort of motions towards the door and he says, "This is it."
Well, if this is it, open it up. I mean, this was your home, right?
He nods and he walks over to the door and it is open. Doesn't appear like it doesn't even appear like it had a lock on it. Um that was broken or anything of that nature. Perhaps he just assumed he was powerful enough to keep passerbys away, scare them off, whatnot. But he just sort of it just looks like a wooden door made out of planks, and it has like a little metal handle. There's not even like a latch to keep it closed or anything. He just pulls it open.
I'll say to the necromancer after you, and I'll just motion to the door and say gonna enter.
Okay, you want him to go first? He sort of hesitates for a moment, but then he says, "Sure, I can go first." And he disappears within the door. It's almost as soon as it looks as though almost as soon as he crosses the threshold of the door, he vanishes. It's like pitch black in there.
You can still hear us, right?
You hear a voice echo back. Yes, it's a bit messy in here.
Yeah, just that it is just pitch black from the outside and no light whatsoever. I mean, I have my goggles of night.
Okay, you put your goggles on?
Yeah.
Okay. You look in the door and it appears to be natural darkness. It's just that it's extremely dark in there.
Just not used to when the sun is out, it's just being pitch black lit to the threshold of the door. Bit
Yeah.
odd, that's all.
There's no windows. There's no windows on this hill. It's pitch black.
Still, if the door's open, then sunlight that streams in must.
The hill that this is carved out of seems to be casting a shadow, so there's no natural light penetrating within the door.
Okay.
Okay, so if we take up or my lantern and I light, then do I see anything?
Oh yeah, you light the lantern and you can see into what is his lair, or at least the entrance. There appears to be it's sort of like a small workshop, perhaps, like perhaps an alchemist type workshop. Little magical implements everywhere. Your character would recognize some of this in his poisoner's kit. Some of the implements that he would use in that.
Oh, is there any working ones? I look around.
Okay, you walk in. It looks like most of it's broken.
Is there anything left to scavenge at all?
You can make an investigation check.
Okay. This is where I spent all my 3 lux. 7. No, I'm not gonna spend it.
Yeah, it just appears like someone came through here and wasn't kind to the interior of this room, and just didn't care whether things were broken or not, and just sort of stuff is laying on the floor. Broken glass is on the floor as well. If any of you are in bare feet and do not have boots, you might want to be careful. But other than that, yeah, it just seems like someone came through here and made a mess.
Bob, to not be well, I walk in and just look around and say, well, this is. Someone has been ravaging through your place.
Yeah, and you can see that there's a bookshelf that had some books on it that is knocked over. It seems to be leaning against a table. So the books are scattered across the table, they're scattered across the floor, and there's some stuck in the folds of the table, if you will.
So I'll look at the necromancer and I'll bring up some empty or some paper and some of my like my quill and my drawing sets, and I'll just ask him if he can map out the area. Let's see.
He starts clearing off the table slightly. It's already a mess, so he just sort of pushes the stuff off the table. Though you think that most wizards would probably be slightly more careful with their stuff, but he seems like he doesn't care. He's just pushing it off the table. And he grabs a chair nearby that was tipped over. It had one of those nice wooden backs on it with the poles on it and everything to hold the back on. That's broken. But he just uses it as a little stool, and he sets it up and sets it upright. And he just sort of sits there and he starts drawing it out. It'll take him a little while to do that.
Yeah. I'll wait. It seems to. Well, I think it's important to have a map if we're gonna go in there, especially when he knows the way.
Okay.
Well, I can light the place with my great sword, but yeah, it would be handy.
Yeah, if someone's looking for a light source, he motions toward a switch on the wall, like a big lever that you ka-chunk down.
I go and pull it.
Alright, you ka-chunk it down, and there's about 6 lanterns on the top of this particular room. 2 of them are green flame, 2 of them are blue flame, and 2 of them are red flame. And they just sort of light up the room in a variety of colors.
Okay.
And he's just
Well,
in
now,
the process of writing.
so how do we get your undead back under your control?
Well, if you
There's
manage...
some.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say. Well, there's someone more powerful than this guy controlling them. So I suppose we'll just have to kill him.
Well, that would be a start. But I do have a means of controlling an army all at once. Controlling 10, 15, 20 is an ordeal in and of itself, but controlling an army is almost nearly impossible for an individual to obtain. So I have an artifact that you will need to find. I'll draw it on one of these pages when I'm finished.
And anyone could wield this artifact. Someone like Lucius as well, or is it?
If he had sufficient knowledge, yes.
Okay, I would like to get a sense if I think Lucius could probably use this item instead of the necromancer.
Make an Arcana check.
Keeping your allies closer and your enemies even closer.
9.
Yeah.
It's not my specialty.
Yeah.
I don't know.
You don't know. You know very, very little about the magic that you do know about, and you know even less about necromancy at the moment. So.
No. So
in short, yeah, well,
Okay, if no one's going to talk, then
yeah,
then,
I said it. So what I was about to say was, in short, find object, bring object to you, and then problem should be solved.
Perhaps. Depends on if they did something to it or not.
Yeah, that will make things very complicated.
Start with a map and any places that you know are good to put traps in and that sort of stuff, because I assume the new residents might have put traps as well.
Well, obviously the.
Well, I can try to put things where I think new traps might be, but anything that's mine, I will definitely mark. They may be disarmed already, but better to be prudent than not.
So I'll just wait for him to do that. Unless you have anything, Stroskan?
Does Eraskan have anything he wants to do in this room?
I mean, well, no, he just tells his little squad that they can wait in this room with the necromancer if they want.
Your little squad is with the group that is guarding the outside.
Oh, yeah, then they can just stay there, then I wait inside. I
It's
just
so
take
that
a
way
round
we don't
of,
have 15 characters
yeah,
in the room.
I just look around in the room for the objects that are in here, like something that might pique his interest.
Okay, you can look for things that might pique your character's interest if you'd like. That would be
So,
an investigation.
here we go, -1, don't fill me now. Exactly what I expected.
At least
A
it's
2,
not a natural
which is a 1.
Yeah, you just sort of look around the room. It just seems like there's a bunch of broken stuff in here. Not really anything important looking. Anything else you want to do?
Well, not a lot then.
Okay.
I mean, they're still everything ready for battle, so...
Just to be fair to Lucius's character, somebody can roll him an investigation.
Sure.
Because he's in a room with a lot of books. And he's a
lot of
wizard.
You can look at them on the way back.
True, but...
Sorry, what? I rolled a 22 for him.
Okay, good. Just remember, or you can put on his sheet since you do have access to it, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Let me just see here. I'm trying to do something here. It's not working. That's a shame. Anyway, just put in his inventory that he has 2 mysterious books.
2 mysterious books. Okay.
Okay, something's going on with my Roll20. I need to reload it.
I'll go get a drink then.
Okay. Googly moogly. Okay, that's where...
That's on the sheet.
Okay. Oh, okay, that's what the problem is. Just give me 20 seconds. I'm trying to figure this out. Okay, that's done. Okay, let me zoom out here. I didn't have time to do this earlier, otherwise I would have, but... Just drawing out the map. That's what I'm going to be doing. It'll only take me a minute or 2. It's not going to be to scale or anything.
That's fine.
Wish there was an easier way to do this, but...
You're just using a new map on Roll20, I assume? Yeah.
It's not going to be to scale, because it's just going to be his drawing of the map. Okay. And...
So we're up here.
Okay, so you are on, because you guys are DMs, so you can see what I'm doing.
Well, basically waiting. Don't want to be spoiled.
Where's...
So where?
I don't see where the player thing is. It's weird.
But yeah, if you want help, which one? Which map is it?
It's the one labeled copy, because I haven't gotten anything on there yet.
Okay, what do you need help with?
I don't see the thing where I can drag the players over.
Oh. To drag us. Oh. Oh, you mean our tokens?
It's the little
No,
thing
to
where the
change
maps
the
are.
map.
It's the little thing where the maps are. I don't see the option for players, to put the players on the map.
But we're in here for now, so we can worry about it later.
I think I know why. Cause well, we're all DMs. We can all decide ourselves. So that's why it's not there. I think.
Perhaps. But thought it was there a minute ago. But anyway, it's unimportant. Okay, so...
Anyway, where do we start? So to say.
Okay. This area is
Shifting.
off. And he points there. Which... that. Close enough. And he draws this. This area like this. This area like this. Draws this. And I'm gonna have to reveal more map. And if one of you doesn't mind, you can throw that up on the Discord thing, so that way people can see this while they're recording, or while I'm recording.
Yeah. So we started up here or down where?
Yeah, you guys are in here. Whoops, I'm still
In where?
here.
Yeah. These lines, they're like pathways.
Yeah, this indicates that this and
There's a
this
door.
are connected.
Okay, and then there's like a hallway or some sort of underground thing.
Yeah.
We start here, if I'm correct.
Yes.
Oop.
Yes, that's where
Okay.
you guys currently are.
And there's a large open area here. There's a door into a room here, I imagine, and then there's a new area here with two smaller rooms.
Yeah.
Is that what I'm getting from him? And there's
Yes.
nothing else, no other rooms there.
He's not finished drawing the map, but
Oh, okay.
this is what you got so far.
Okay.
And
Well, I'm waiting for him to finish then.
It's handy.
I'm just gonna indicate where the door is that you came through.
Yeah.
So, and it's not to scale.
Yeah, that's fine. I don't need it to be to scale, but I'll just wait for him to get to the other room so we know how many rooms and that sort of thing.
And he indicates that this is the last room.
Okay, so that's the last room. And since the hallway is going from the top area there, this room is just like a small storage, or I ask him about it.
He says, well, I didn't want them to get to my army or my precious artifacts, so I gave them a choice. One of them leads to not good, the other leads to the way you're supposed to go. He's basically saying that room is a trap.
Okay.
Because
Okay,
explorers
yeah,
always want to go into all the rooms and find out what's in them.
Can I make an insight check to see if maybe he's just keeping safe his own loot, you know?
You can do that, sure. Make an insight check.
15.
Yeah, he just seems like he's telling you the truth. He wants this place
Okay.
back, so.
Yeah, okay.
So, at least at one point, there was a trap in that room.
I should have rolled a nat one. Oh my great.
Okay, so where are my drawing tools here? There we go. Now, if I remember correctly, okay, there we go, yep.
Well, if we're going deeper, then we're going deeper.
There we go. Oh, you can't see the whole room. Stupid reveal tool. Wish you could just click reveal all map and it would just reveal the whole map, but it doesn't work that way apparently.
Mm.
And let's see, since you asked about it, it says that the artifact should be here. And yes, this room is perfectly rectangular.
Okay. Well, I already went down one level to the next room, quote unquote. I don't know how
Alright.
that works.
So, when you go there, you see a staircase that goes down deeper into the earth.
My headset nearly fell off because I just scratched a bit behind on top of my head.
Anyway, this room is perfectly the shape of what the hill looks like. There's a tree on top of it.
Which room?
The room that Howler is currently in.
Okay.
Where's Howler? I don't know where Howler is, but whoever the person is.
Yeah, I only see Zaska in the second room. And Lucius in the first.
Yeah, I haven't gone to the second room yet. No.
Yeah, in this first room is the same shape as the hill that the tree was on.
Yeah.
And the tree took up most of the top of the hill. You guys went around to make sure that you avoided it and then quickly went into the door, just in case the tree, bent down to try to smack you.
Yeah.
But, yeah, this is what the hill looks like. So as soon as you went there, or here, you saw that there was dirt dug out, and there was a stone staircase that went down into this area.
Yeah. And this last room down here, that was the last one, correct? Is there anything we should be aware of in the first room, I asked him? Because that's where we're going.
And as he answers you, Zaraskan, you can see in this room because you have your night vision goggles. I think they're called something more fantasy oriented, but whatever.
Goggles of Night.
Yes. Obviously more fantasy oriented than what I was saying. Either way. So you look in this room, and the necromancer is describing to Howler at the same time what's in this room. There's a bunch of mechanical things which you may not have expected a necromancer to have. There's some sort of machine that has a metal bowl-looking thing attached to a cord that goes into the wall, and it has restraints on it that look like there's a thing that looks like a person almost made out of metal that perhaps a person might be attached to via the restraints. And there's a metal bowl that's on top of it. You're not sure what its purpose is, but the necromancer says it's simply his animating chamber, where he experiments with animating various creatures. And there's other implements that are of different shapes and sizes that look like they have restraints and different orientations and things of that nature. There are some that look like they're for four-legged creatures. some bigger, some smaller. And as you're walking that far into the room, you notice
Yeah, I'm just
that
walking. I just try to stay the distance away from it. Just like this can end up bad if I get too close to that.
yeah, all this area here is just covered in machinery. There's just various machines. Some are smaller, some are bigger, some look like they're the size of rats, some look like they're the size of horses or other bigger beasts. There's one big machine. Let's see here.
Well, while he's looking at them, I'm asking the necromancer.
Yeah. There's one big machine that goes like this.
It's
And it
like,
takes
hold
up
on,
that
what?
entire area. It's approximately 50 feet long.
Yeah, that's a big thing.
Yeah. And it looks like it has restraints all the way down it. Like this thing might have had maybe over 100 limbs. At least if all the restraints are there for a purpose.
Just carefully shuffling about. What is? Is a trap or something?
No, that is simply he has wooden planks set up, and this little space in the middle is a door.
Okay, time to go through the door.
Okay. But before you reach the door, so go back a few steps, you see that there's a small contraption here that currently has a creature in it.
Is it alive? Is it kicking? Is it screaming? I don't know.
It's not moving. It seems like it's in one of the four-legged creature type restraint orientations.
Fuck your curiosity. You're gonna get me killed one day.
Alright, you walk a little closer. You can, if you want to identify the creature, you can attempt to by making either a medicine check or a nature check.
Well, they're both worse, but
And by the way, Howler, the necromancer doesn't describe this creature.
Okay. Yeah, well, I don't know that, so.
Yeah. I'm just telling you that
18.
When he's describing what's down there, he's not saying that he had to leave a creature behind. Or anything like that.
18.
Okay, with an 18 in medicine. Okay, perfect. You see that it has dragonborn legs, and it has arms that are that of an elf attached to it. However, it seems like the orientation of the limbs is that such that it would be crawling on the ground. And it seems to have a crocodilian-like body that the limbs are attached to. And they're very haphazardly attached.
So I used the blunt end of. So you have the pointy end of a javelin and the whole hand. So I used just the blunt end, let's say, of the javelin to tap the body to see if it's alive. Let's say.
Okay. You tap the body, and it appears that the head is covered in some sort of restraint. Leather straps wrapped around its maw, because it has like a crocodilian-like maw. And its eyes sort of start to lull open. The arms start to move slightly in the restraints.
So, does it seem alive? That's about. No, it's not alive. I mean, this is literally stitched together being, so no, it's not alive.
Yeah, it's basically a Frankenstein decided to make a monster out of other parts than just human parts.
Yeah, the same thing Lucius has.
Yes.
So I yell over from this woman, just yell for the necromancer. found one of your stitch puppets.
Well, how long are these tunnels?
They're staircases.
Okay.
Imagine that you're walking in an apartment building. They're approximately that height, maybe 2 floors worth of stairs.
Okay.
So
do we
let's
hear
see,
me
my
yelling?
voice would need to travel 70,
Like I
they
said,
are.
105.
this isn't perfectly to scale,
Yeah.
but yeah, it's quite a distance that your voice would have to travel. And you assume that your voice would also
Mhm.
travel in the other direction if you were going to yell.
Yeah, okay, then I go back up to them and just say, found one of your stitch puppets
Yeah, and just
downstairs.
as you get to the stairwell here. Oh, I'm still drawing. Whoopsie. As you get to the stairwell here,
Mm-hmm.
you hear the creature gurgling like a crocodile that sees something that's walking into its territory. And you look back behind you and you see that the creature is looking directly at you.
I go up the stairs expecting it to be at me that I'm down there right now, so I go back up so it will ignore me.
Okay. You go up.
Mm-hmm.
So you can move your token back up if you want. And then you said what
Yeah,
you said before.
yeah, I found one of your stitch puppets, dragonborn legs, mostly crocodile,
He
elven
goes,
arm.
he goes, I didn't leave any of my creations behind. They got swallowed by the shadow. Unfortunately, they moved too slowly. So they were in the
Well,
forest when I was running away.
well, one of them is down there currently.
That's troubling. Describe what it looked like again.
Dragonborn legs, crocodile body, uh, elven arms. Did I get a good look at the head?
Yeah, the head just looks like it was part of the crocodile. They just removed the legs
Yeah.
of the crocodile and put other limbs on.
Yeah. So crocodile head and body and tail, of course. Dragonborn legs and elven arms. That's about it.
I normally didn't harvest people unless if I found them. What color were the dragonborn legs? And I'll tell you because you could have easily seen. They were slightly goldish hue.
The
So
dragonborn legs were goldish and crocodile color.
he goes,
So greenish.
yeah, it was a greenish one, yeah. And the elven arms looked very pale in complexion. And he goes, I don't think I ever found a gold dragonborn in this forest.
Well, then this is obviously the work of this other necromancers taking your debt. We should get rid of it.
Yeah, obviously.
We can
Oh yeah,
resurrect it
it
later.
also it also started like growling or gurgling or whatever when I was down there.
Yeah, crocodiles just sort of make this low growl or gurgle when they see things nearby. They don't normally roar or anything like that.
So should I put it out of its misery?
Well, it's up to the group. I'm very willing to lose some of my specimens if it means gaining a higher percentage of them. But if it doesn't seem like it's a threat, then I think that we should save it.
Did it attack you when you passed?
Well, it could hardly attack me. I mean, it's restrained in one of your machines. Do you have machine?
Yes, it's where I did some of my experiments in trying to animate creatures using machinery. However, it seems that
Well,
you
it's
always need an element of magic in order to get it to work.
Well, if it's restrained, we could just head over and further restrain it so that it wouldn't
no, it is
come
currently
behind.
completely restrained, like arms, legs, head, neck.
Well, we could take a look at those restraints and make sure it won't follow in behind us.
Well, let me see.
And we're just running away.
Well,
No,
he walked
I'm
down
just,
there to look.
Yeah.
I can basically see 60 feet around me since, well, goggles of night.
Yeah,
So
and there's no
I
other creatures in the restraints. They're all empty.
I speak to the necromancer while he runs away, and I'll say, "Well, I guess if he doesn't get attacked and he comes back alive, you should be able to just move past it."
Well, if it's in one of my machines, I had it purposely designed so nothing could escape. At least if it became feral or uncontrollable.
So, as Zerskat doesn't hear this, he just grabs one of the chains on his legs and tug on it to see if it's secure.
Yeah, basically this one is it's like a metal plate that has the orientation of 4 limbs on it, and a place to rest the head, if you wanted to. And it has the restraints it's sort of like a piece of metal that's bent down, so it has like 4 little limb sections, and it's bent down to indicate that it's oriented for creatures that are 4-legged creatures. And the restraints are clipped onto this metal plate, and the metal plate is attached to the ground via a metal pole that seems to be attached to the ground.
Okay, so I just should take note of that and just go back up to them. And
Yeah, and
just tell
the
them.
face mask is one of those Hannibal Lecter-esque masks. It's just like leather that covers the face and has a little place where the mouth can breathe, that sort of thing.
Yeah, it's pretty secured.
And it growled at you as you approached, and it seemed very agitated as you were examining its restraints, but it could move its head slightly, but it couldn't harm you in any way.
Yeah, and it seems grumpy, so I guess feral, but not yet aggressively feral. It did grow aggressively.
Alright, so we know that room is clear, and I'll start asking him about this room.
Okay, that area is it's blocked off by a door. It seems like Zeruskon doesn't care to ask any questions. He's just gonna explore the areas while you guys are talking about it.
Yeah, he said, like, you check on that thing, seems secure. Okay, I gave you the info, time to check what's here. I mean, I have an intelligence of -1, a 9 in total.
Well,
you do notice we have a spot.
I have a 10.
A peasant has an 8.
They actually have all 10s. Check that later, but...
Peasants, as in, like, people who are, like, super weak and not smart, because they aren't educated.
Commoner actually has a bit more, that has a 10.
Yeah, well, I'm talking about, like, a peasant. Someone who's, like, not educated or anything.
Okay.
Anyway, so you approach the door, and he begins to describe as he's walking back down the staircase. That room basically is a storage area, which also contains the stairs down to the next floor. So he just has spare parts that he's using in that room to maybe modify some of his restraint machines, that sort of thing. Different restraints for different shaped or sized heads, shaped or sized arms, that sort of thing. And he even has a full one that was meant for a completely humanoid creature that he has stored back there. However, Zeruskon, you reach the door and the door is locked.
Yes.
It's a wooden
Okay.
door.
Yeah, sure. I can chop it down, but I'm at least gonna use a bit of brain power here that I have before it fizzles out.
Okay.
And I just sighed to myself, go like, I just hate when no one is following me. Say, who can picklock or has the keys to the door that's down there?
Well, I have keys to every door in existence, so I'm sure I could do it.
Okay, picklock's good. Then come along.
Oh, we can walk and talk, and I'll ask, is there anything else in the room and that sort of thing while I'm moving down.
Okay, so I'll assume that the necromancer is either close by or following you. At
Yeah,
all times.
because I want to know what is in the next area before I go in there. Like, I'm not gonna be a source gun and just walk in.
Okay, so you're asking this area here?
Yeah, while we're walking, but I'm just going down here to lockpick the door. So I'm gonna guide and I'm gonna lockpick. So
Okay.
that's a D4. That's actually quite terrible.
It is.
Seems like the dice gods finally want to get rid of Howler.
19.
Okay, with a 19, you're lucky too. You hear a click, and the door becomes unlocked. However, you hear a sound, and just
crap.
before you remove your lockpick, you say, "Shit, there's a trap," and you just barely maneuver your lockpicks into a place where it would most likely be that the trap would be to disarm it, and you just barely stop it before the door blows up.
Okay, so I
a
realized.
rudimentary explosive powder bomb in the door.
So I'll just look at Roskan and I'll say, I thought you checked the door. You came and asked me to lockpick it.
No. You asked me to check on this thing. Not the door. I just said the door was locked. Nothing else.
Yeah, so I assumed you checked it for traps. And I just hold my lockpicks there with a bomb in the door.
Yeah, you stopped there was a wick on the inside, and it was supposed to be, if the proper key wasn't used, then it would light the wick. A little mechanism inside with a little spark, it would light the wick. You managed to put your little one of the little
Hook.
tools for the lockpick.
Yeah.
And you managed to shove it onto the wick, and it stopped the flame before it could get to the explosive powder.
So I'm wondering if I could just do it quick enough to where I can stop it before it explodes.
Like you have. Is what
okay, I already have. So do I have a bomb?
You can open the door and see if you can find out where the bomb is. It might be located inside the doorknob itself, but you're not sure. You'd have to open the door.
So I look around, but very carefully now. There's a trap there, so.
Okay, so you're gonna open. Are you opening the door, or?
Yeah, very carefully, but I'd investigate to see if I can locate where this bomb is and take it.
Okay. Make an investigation check.
Investigation. Ooh.
That's your guidance.
That's 3.
Fine.
90.
You're going terrible tonight.
I mean, it's on 11 on that, so it's not terrible. I mean, I don't have that high end. Yeah. Just a +1.
Yeah. So, you peek into the room. You look back and forth. It's as he said, there's just a bunch of supplies there. Some of them appear to be knocked over and in worse condition than what he may have hoped. But, the thing that looks like the spare restraint thing is knocked over and looks like it's broken in half. All of his restraint things in there are knocked all over the floor, some of them broken beyond repair. He would have to reforge them in order to get any use out of them. Yeah, it looks like it's in disrepair. But You look at the other side of the door, and it appears that the entire other side of the doorknob is just wrapped in this, like, sackcloth bag that is bulging with what looks like explosive powder. It looks like it's a trap specifically made for people who are lockpicking a door, so that way they lockpick the door, attempt to open it, and as they have their hand on the knob, it just blows the knob off on them and hurts them.
Okay, so what do I add in my inventory when I take this?
You can, if you want to take the explosive powder and the sackcloth covering, you can just write a sack of explosive powder.
Okay. Sack of explosive powder. Good.
Alright. And you know someone who used something similar. He was a warforged. One of your old companions.
Yeah.
He would use this explosive powder to make his weapons work, because he was very...
I thought you meant fizzle boom, like can he use them too?
He could. He could use the explosive powder. He's an alchemist, so...
Yeah, I just thought I got some bombs from it at some point. So.
Yeah, so he would know how to use it, but I was thinking more that the guy who would have the powder more readily would be him, but...
Yeah.
Because he can make arcane bombs, the alchemist, so...
Yeah, now he can make it bigger, boom.
Yeah, so arcane bombs are made by magic. They need specific little runes in them to work. But either way, yeah, you got the door open.
Yeah.
And you can see onto the other side.
The storage, like, is there anything in here still? Is there any valuables still left from what
you can make an investigation check, just like with the other areas.
Because when I look for loot, I will of course guidance myself. That's a 20.
Okay. With a 20, you do find that some of the restraints appear to have runes on them. And not only that...
magical.
Yes. That would be indicative of magic. You're not sure what type of magic or anything without an Arcana check, but they have obvious runes on them.
So they're like manacles, I assume? Sets of manacles? Or...
Yeah, they have chains attached to them, these ones. Seems like he had some spares just laying around that he made.
How many spares with these magical chains did he have?
He had 3 sets.
I will quietly pocket them without the necromancer noticing, hopefully.
Okay. You can make a sleight of hand if you want to try to do it stealthily.
Yeah. Boop. Boop, yeah, 34.
Yeah, he can't even possibly roll high enough. So he doesn't notice.
Yeah.
It seems like he was paying attention to some of the broken stuff on the floor as you picked those up and put them in your bag of holding.
Yeah, that's what I was waiting for. So I will let the others know it seems to be clear. Just ask him about the next room.
Okay, he begins to describe what's in this room. Zeraskan, what are you doing while he's attempting to describe?
Guess what? Impatientness as fuck.
Okay! You choose to just walk down there. Okay, he needs to roll perception to see if he notices.
I mean, I'm a big guy. I'm not quiet.
You're not quiet, but he is in mid-conversation, which he rolled not great. So he doesn't notice. Zeraskan, I need you to roll an investigation check as you're walking down the stairs.
Mm-hmm. Investigation, don't fail me now. A 2! Hooray!
Alright, you begin walking down the stairs. I need you to make a dexterity saving throw.
Something I can do. 18.
Alright, you begin walking down the stairs, you hear your foot crunches on something, and you're like, you're not like, well, whether or not you've traveled in dungeons before with plentiful traps is up to you, but, you're not stupid either, not, like, unwise, and
No.
you hear a noise, and you duck down to the bottom of the stairway, and you hear psst. That's it.
God damn it. Fake traps.
It seems as though there may have been a trap here, but it may be disarmed.
Or just degraded due to age.
Either way, it didn't harm you, but you managed to dodge it even if it would have been active, so...
So, what do I see in this room as it's being described?
Okay, so the necromancer begins to describe this area, and he does mention the trap that he thought was still there. However, you were already down the stairway. And he describes that this room is it's just a trap, but your character isn't there, so your character doesn't know that. So here's what you see. You see a door that appears to be made of gold. And the wall is made of some sort of metal, perhaps steel. And it appears to be heavily locked. Like it has like 5 or 6 locks on it.
Interest 0.
Okay. And
Yeah,
this one
he's
is...
like gold, metal, a bit too suspicious.
This door is, it has wooden planks, just like the door above, and the door is also made of wooden planks. And you attempt to open the door, and it is locked.
I this time, before how to get complaint, check for traps.
Okay, you can make an investigation check of the door.
Let's see what I
This time he'll
roll.
just
Another
say
2.
there's nothing.
Another...
This time he'll just say there's
Another
nothing, and you try to
2.
open the door, and it's trapped, and you blow yourself up.
Last time I blamed, I blamed you because I forgot. This time I will actually blame you because it's your fault.
Okay, so you don't... It appears to be clear. You don't see anything that would, like, make the door blow up or anything.
Could I do a brickhead move? What side are the latches of the door?
The latch is on this side, the lower side.
Good.
And it appears, based on how the hinges are, with your 2 investigation, I'll give you this for free. The hinges on this side appears like the door opens inward, in towards here.
Oh, so I can't just pull out the door of its frame.
Well, you could just break the hinge if you wanted to.
Well, I can even go more bone, go straight to the wall.
You could do that. Yes, that is a possibility. The door and the wall are made of the same material.
Yeah, just pull the planks off, go straight through.
Okay.
I mean, that's not hard.
Sure. So the necromancer says that this area down here is just basically for this trap. There's a gilded door and a metal wall to make it look enticing for those who would want to break into things that are hard to break into. And if they succeed, they go into the room, and there's just... the door automatically shuts behind them, and the room fills with acid.
With acid?
Yes.
Good thing I'm resistant to that.
Yeah, it fills up the entire room, however. So you have, like, not even breathing room.
Oh, yeah, that's a problem.
Yeah, even for someone who's resistant to acid. You'd have to be immune to acid damage.
And have an air capacity of more than just 3 minutes.
Yeah, it fills the room for an hour. So
Yeah, more than 3
you'd have
minutes.
to be able to breathe acid as well. Yeah, he didn't want people to come in here if they weren't invited. So
Makes good skeletons, though.
yes, it does, which is part of what he would do after the bodies were recovered. Anyway, so yeah, he tells you that this room was it's just a trap to kill people if they break into this place. And this entire platform area was just made for that purpose. So you're going to attempt to break through the wall?
Yeah, just removing the planks.
Okay, they're still fastened on decently, so I'll need an athletics from you. For some reason,
11.
these nails are stuck in very well.
Okay, start pulling out the nails first.
Okay, you start pulling the nails. Make another athletics check. Okay, at that point, then you manage to get the nails out, and the boards wrench free, and you have a space of a 5-foot square that you can walk through.
Yeah, just go through and check the behind of the doors. Like, is this thing has a bomb thing?
Okay, you look at the door, and I'll get you to make an Arcana check.
Arcana. Also, something I'm not very good at. Another 2.
Nope, it's a 1. The doorknob is glowing, but you don't know why that would be. Maybe it's just a special doorknob.
I said I'm gonna be a very mean prick. A very mean prick.
Okay.
I'm gonna set up the boards just so that they're behind that wall.
Okay.
And it's gonna be like, I better set that back up, and as Howler comes back down and he just tries to tell them, oh, you set off the trap. I was just setting the boards back up for if anything else came through. That's true,
your
my
character
bad.
isn't sure if that's a trap or not. Just so you're aware. It's just glowing. The doorknob is glowing. That's all you know.
Wait. Yeah, I'm just gonna leave that hole there and then be like, should I wait before I go down? Should I go alone?
Okay. Howler, what are you guys doing? Because he did take 2 or 3 minutes to wrench those boards up.
Yeah, I'm asking them about the stairs, if there's any traps there, about the room itself, what's in there, about this room, what you mean they die
you
there.
have been told about that all?
Yeah, so this room is empty. This entire room. I changed my color, by the way, so you could tell the difference between people. Someone appears to have a color that's very similar to what mine was. Anyway, that's fine. So this room has nothing in it. It's just empty. This is a stone room, which fills with acid, and there's spigots on the ceiling that are connected to a acid vat that is hidden in the ground. Okay.
I kind of ask him about the acid itself, how powerful is it, how quickly would it deteriorate the body, and if we could be able to tap some of that acid.
He goes, it's acid that I specially enchanted to eat through any skin, including that of magical creatures. Even if they have a slight resistance to it, it should eat through them, no problem.
So would we be able to gather some of that acid? It could come in handy.
You would need either a stone or metal encasing. It can eat through glass as well.
Okay. Can look around in my inventory.
afraid you would have to be careful. I can attempt to disarm the trap if you wish to go in there, but I'm not sure if they modified it or anything. That would be my only fear.
Alright, would you have any... I look around, because this is a room full of metal and shit. Like, is there anything that I could possibly hold that acid in this storage area?
Like I described, there are like these metal bowls that appear to be things that he would put over the heads of creatures that he was creating. They have a hole in the bottom, however. But you could hold something in that, but other than that, there's nothing that's like container-like in this room that isn't broken. Everything else has like holes in it. Like if you had a forge here, you could just reforge it into something that you could use, but you don't have a forge here.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I'll just say we should look into disarming it when we're done here, because I was thinking of maybe sending someone back to get as much as they could. Could come in handy, as I said.
Well, I wouldn't feel safe going through there without special protections.
Well, for now, let's keep moving. I'll head down to this area.
Okay, yeah, you just see the same thing that I described. You see a stone wall or metal wall, I should say. The stone is the interior in here. And this is like a gold gilded door. Very fancy looking with an engraving. It has
So
5 or 6 locks on it.
I asked him, is that really gold?
He goes, well, I invested quite a bit in this trap, so yes.
Okay, there's more over here, and I kind of look at the door. Like, could I take the doorknob, that sort of thing? Like, without entering the room, can I, like, type the door?
You can try to steal a door. I'm not going to say that you can't steal the door. However, you do know that there is a trap attached to the door.
Yes, but did that trigger only when we entered the room?
Yes, but he also mentioned that they may have modified the trap.
Okay, well, I ask...
So it's up to you if you're willing to risk just setting off a modified trap. That's, I'm just warning you.
Yeah, and secondly, you can clearly see a giant hole here.
Yeah,
you can see that he pried some of the boards off the wall.
Yeah, I mean, that's just the way we're supposed to go. There's a gold door here, like, we have to...
He sees you examining the door, and he says, you do have a keen eye for treasure. Like I said, you may want to wait until the trap is disarmed.
But it's magical, is it not? If they were to remove the magic.
There is a mechanic within the door to keep it remain closed, just in case there is a mage of some repute that decided to break it.
Can you describe and help me? I'm basically asking him to help. Like, with his help, can we disarm this mechanic and then dispel the door?
He says that it would be possible, but he doesn't know if there's like a specialty trap on the door that as soon as you open it, something like grabs you or something like that. He doesn't know what would be in there.
A trap on a trap.
Yeah,
He's
exactly.
basically saying.
So there might be 15 traps in that door, and he doesn't know about it. So
I can investigate and see if there is anything else, or if it's just what he's describing, without actually going in or opening.
So he tells you what the mechanism should be. There is an enchantment on the door that prevents ordinary people from just breaking the door. Like if they're super strong, it has an unbreaking enchantment on it. But let's say someone's strong enough to dispel the enchantment. There is a mechanism that prevents the door from opening. And the only way to open it would be if you cast 6 knock spells on the door.
Okay.
So he has the ability to use the knock spell. So that was his fail-safe, just in case the trap activated while he was still in the room.
Okay, so I tell him to prepare the knock spell, but are you sure not regular means could break through this door if we were to break the mechanism and remove the magic at the same time?
If you break the mechanism and you break the enchantment on the door, then yes, you could take the door, but like I said, if there's an unknown trap there, that is your risk to take.
I will look for this unknown. Like I want to investigate to see if there's any other traps that we don't know about.
Okay, so you're looking to see if there's a trap that possibly is on the door.
Yeah, like under the door and in the keyhole and like everywhere. Just
okay, roll an investigation check. And there are 6 keyholes, by the way.
I asked the necromancer for his aid because he knows about this door.
Okay, sure. He walks over and helps you. See if he can.
I'm gonna read. I should probably say that that's more important. So I'm gonna guidance 14.
All right. He looks at the door and he says, "It does appear that it was opened since I last came in. It appears that the magic on the trap has been tampered with. Someone used a different rune to activate it again."
But that should only be the magical part, right?
That's the only thing I've noticed that's different.
Okay, so here's my plan, and I will tell him, we need someone really strong, so I'll go get one of the Yetis to carry this door away. Me and you will look into this mechanism and disable the magic, and we will take this door.
He goes, "I did have this door specially made, but if you insist, this is
sure I could.
This is a great boon that you are providing me with, getting my lair back. So I will permit you to take this as payment if you wish."
There's a tiny problem with your ID. You can't fit in the bag of holding. It's that big.
That's why he's getting a Yeti to carry it.
Oh, gosh darn it.
So I will go and get the Yeti and I'll say, we need your aid.
Okay, so you have 2 Yetis. One is considered large. The other is considered huge.
I think the large one because I think the huge one will be a bit too big for the area.
Yeah, he can't even fit in the door. The large guy, he could fit in the door and crawl around in here, but he would have to crawl around, and some of the spaces might be a little bit too tight for him. You're not sure.
Like we can break a few walls here and there. Like we'll manage. What's important is I found a treasure that's too big for me to carry at the Yeti.
Yeah, it's a gold and brass. He goes in to describe it to you as you guys are talking and everything. It's gold. It's a gold and brass alloy because pure gold is very soft and wouldn't be very valuable, or would be valuable, but it would just not break too easily. That's why pirates would bite their gold coins to see if it leaves an indent, to see how pure the gold is, in the money. So, it's a gold and brass alloy to keep the door from breaking instantly before they can put on it.
Here's what will happen. We'll take the door and we'll leave. Like mission complete.
Okay. But while you're getting the logistics of the door prying off figured out, it appears that Zaraskan has walked down into the next chamber.
Yeah, where we need to get our magical artifact thingy.
That comes later in my mind. Like I need a Yeti for now.
You go down the staircase.
Mm-hmm.
And you go down approximately 8 or 9 flights of stairs. And
Zaraskan is not amused. He's like, why do necromancers need so many stairs?
And when you get to the bottom of the staircase, you discover why he needs so many stairs. this room that you are currently in is 100 feet tall. And it's approximately 100 feet wide, but I don't have that much room on this thing. And
So the 100-foot cube always, or
it's 100 feet tall and 100 feet wide, but long. It's approximately a mile long.
oh, okay.
That's one big ass room.
Yes. You don't see anything in this room. Even at the far end over here.
Okay. It's just completely empty.
Yeah, there's nothing in this room.
Okay, with a heavy sigh, go back up the stairs, just like heavy footfalls, just going up the stairs, like, God damn necromancer, setting me down this stupid stairs and find
It took you
stupid
about
thing.
6 minutes to climb down the stairs. And it takes you about 6 minutes to climb back up. And at that point, you look up and you don't see anybody in this room.
Where the hell is everybody?
And, Lucius and the necromancer have gone back up to try to convince a Yeti to carry a door.
Well, I just sit down and start waiting for them.
You should have expected this, Matt.
As soon as you go in the howler, of his nose, he will try to take it.
I mean, you can steal an enchanted door if you want. That's a thing you can do. But, why you want to do this, I don't know. But,
it's gold. It's money.
You can sell an enchanted unbreaking door. You can do that.
We have hardly any money up at Temple, okay? We need more.
You could
all
use
for
this
the money.
You could use this on your vault too if you wanted to, but they'd have to
That's
rework the designs in order to work it in.
It's one of the things I had in mind.
Yeah, you managed to get back outside, and the Yeti says, "Do you have comprehend languages on?" Because
yes,
because if you don't, then you don't understand Yeti.
Okay, well then I cast it.
Okay. Use any resources that you have to use in order to use that.
Yeah, I'll use the resource. It's fine.
Okay.
Oh.
So the Yeti says, "You want to carry tent opening?"
Yes, a very shiny tent opening.
Why would you want to carry a tent opening? We can just make
kind of lean in and whisper.
He bends down.
It's made of magic. It's for my office back at the temple.
Oh, so scary wizards made a tent opening?
Yes, and we're taking it.
Well, if I can fit, I will try to take it. But if you could bring it out here, it would be much easier.
I kinda... door of gold...
The necromancer says, I did use a couple of abominations to carry it here for me.
Yeah. I mean... I'm not built for lifting stuff. That's why I came and asked you. You seem quite strong.
I can lift tent opening, yes.
Very well. Now let's see if you can fit in, and I kind of get him towards the door and stuff, and I let him know. Don't be worried. Don't worry if you break a few things here and there, as long as you fit.
Have you ever seen any classic Winnie the Pooh cartoons? Like the one where he's stuck in the window because he couldn't get in the door, and then the whole cartoon is where he's stuck in the window. Just anticipate that this is gonna happen. So he tries to get in the door. Let's see if he can fit in the door. Let's just start there.
Oh, for the love of God, let this piece go good.
Okay. I'm looking for Yeti. That's right.
Here we go. Here comes hell. Oh boy.
Okay, I went past it. Apparently, I went with the Z's.
I like how we took these Yetis and we made them fly on an airship to a necromancer lair and made him bury it and made him carry a tent opening.
That's the only word in their language that is comparable to door, which is why he was using tent opening.
That's fine. Yes, this is why we got them.
Okay, so... Okay, cool. So +1 to this roll.
+1, wow.
Yep, because he's rolling using his dex to try to get in the door.
I will, when I see him attempting this, I will try and help him a bit, so I will guide him.
You can guidance him.
Yeah, that's what I was doing.
You can roll that.
So he gets an extra 1.
He got an 11. The door is slightly wider than the rest of it. So he does manage to fit through the door.
Okay, so we have the Yeti with us in the first room at least.
And he's on hands and knees in this room.
Yeah.
Imagine if, like,
I actually have a picture for this. Yeah. Can I pull it out there? There we go.
Where is it?
It's in the upper... It's in the room where you guys start.
Oh, Yeti image. That's it. That's what I'm seeing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's what
that's
he has
the
the
Yeti.
image of. So,
Okay.
yeah. So you guys are going to start going down the staircase. He can fit into the stairwell. However, when it turns to go the other way and start going down again, he's going to have to roll to get through.
Yeah, and I'm guiding him all the way. Like I'm hungry for gold.
Because he's a big Yeti, so he doesn't have the flexibility that would be required to go around this particular corner.
Yeah.
So he has to roll.
I'm kind of just instructing him like he should bend that limb. It can bend a bit more.
So he's
Just
sort of just
a bit
like
more.
this in the hallway, trying to climb down using his arms. With his legs up the stairs and his arms going down the stairs. And he's trying to get through there. But he manages. He's getting lucky here. And with your guidance, it is substantially giving him a bonus.
Yeah.
So he gets to that doorway. That doorway is way too small for him to enter.
Yeah, I tell him, yeah, just break this door.
Alright, he's gonna roll strength. And
I'm
he's
gonna
just
guide him.
break the thing.
So 2.
Yeah, he has a +4 in strength. Because this is the smaller one, and this is the bigger one. The bigger one has more.
Yeah, fine.
Yeah, what's you gonna do with the gold door? Just pull it off its hinges, leaving a little bit of gold behind. Howler won't leave without a tiny bit of gold.
Yeah, Howler will go in the room, even risking death to try to pick up that little piece of gold. Let's see, it's +4, that's right.
I am quite greedy, so...
Perhaps you need... What? Perhaps you need loyalty more than betrayal.
Alright, he
Why not both?
he is not the brightest, and he doesn't realize that this is just a tent opening here. So he just punches the wall here, and he not only breaks the door, he just breaks the door frame and this part of the wall here. So it is now. I'll try to erase just that little bit if I can.
You'll probably have to erase the line.
Yeah, I'll just erase the line. That'll make it easier. So so dark in my room. There we go. And I'll make a smaller line for you.
Yeah, everything's fine. It's working out, just like Matt intended.
It's not the exact same color that I was using because it switched my
It's
basic
fine.
color, but whatever. You get the point. The door is now more open than it was. As he
Yes, and
smashed the door frame.
I will instruct him to go down here. Like, was this area harder to go through, or was it the same?
It's the same as this stairwell.
Okay, so yeah, I will just guide him and I'll tell him, you know what to do. It's pretty much the same. This is the
He
last
gets to
one.
roll at advantage because he's already done it.
And he has 4.
Okay, so it's not just this one, but it's this one too. Oh, he actually got one
yeah,
better.
it's 23.
Yeah, so you are instructing him fairly well. And even though he's having a hard time, it's almost as if this necromancer made his lair for him to walk through and not gigantic things.
Give me a committee, yes. I will take this up with a disability committee.
Okay, so he managed to get down here. So, Zarascon, you witness a crawling yeti coming down the staircase.
Power must not be far.
Yeah, I'm just behind.
Can you yell for that necromancer to get his ass down here right now?
We're coming. There's just something a bit more important first. Alright?
Well, there's something double important as that room where his artifact should be is empty.
Well, we'll come to that. I mean, he said it was a mile long. You haven't been able to search everything yet.
I'm not going in when I see the whole place is empty. Perhaps he has a giant invisible dragon in there. Don't want to get eaten by that.
You'll have to wait for a more important goal.
And just so you guys are aware, just a neat factoid. In the original D&D, in the original rule set, it took you an hour to search a 5-foot square. So, if you wanted to investigate a 5-foot square. So, if you guys wanted to investigate that room, you would be taking weeks.
Yes, weeks. My God. So, literally, this tiny square would take an hour.
Yes.
For the love of God.
Yeah, it takes you days to investigate a whole house. It's obscene.
Yeah. Okay. I'll be doing something else while they're doing the door, so I'll be back whenever I'll be back.
Okay. So
see you in a few.
Okay. The Yeti's there. He's on his hands and knees.
I tell him to hold up. There's something we need to do with this door before you can take it. Or this tent opening, I say.
Well, you're using comprehend languages, so it automatically translates your words into the most appropriate word.
Okay.
So even if you make like a grammatical mistake that wouldn't happen in that language, it's translating what you're saying into their language, so that way they can understand it properly.
Yeah.
So he says, "But tent opening. Why? And he points at the door and he says, "Why would you cover your tent opening?"
This is the magic I was speaking about, right? It's very important we get this hole back to the temple, which I will show you guys.
Because in his culture, they just have tents that flap open and closed with the wind.
And the temple is up north, past the tundra. It would make a great spot for both of you and any other Yetis that might want to join us at the temple.
He says, "We consider, but jungle hot."
I didn't say anything about jungle.
He knows what's north.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. That's fair.
He knows what's north of where he lives, and you said that you guys came north from where he lived to get to where you guys are. So.
We just have to build a freezer, you know, like one of the rooms in the temple is just a freezer.
They have fur for a reason, let's just say.
What?
They have fur for a reason.
Yes. We just shave them, you know?
You can try. Whether or not they'll let you is a different story.
Well, I'll persuade them to do that later. For now, we need a golden door.
It's even a little bit hot here, as the tropical rainforest area where the temple is hotter than here. Yes. You can tell that he's his face is covered in sweat and everything.
Yeah. So in that case, I will get the necromancer because I want him to help me during this whole thing.
Okay, the necromancer moves around the Yeti who is currently on his hands and knees. You guys were behind him, so you were just staring at his butt the whole time as you were going down the staircase.
Yeah.
And he has the Yeti in my world is they're a little bit different, and he has a little nice cat tail that covered his hole, so that way you weren't staring at his hole the whole time. So.
Yeah.
And it has little spots on it, little black spots on it.
What, that's all?
No, the tail.
Oh, okay.
Almost like a snow leopard. Which is kind of weird because the rest of the Yeti is just white colored. So it may have something to do with its magical origins. Kind of like how owl bears look very strange.
So I just instruct the Yeti, if anything bad should pull us out of there. I instruct the necromancer, I will be turning on this orb. Your magic won't be functioning for a little while. And hopefully the door's magic won't as well. And now let's take a look at this mechanism. If we disable that, then the trap should be disabled.
Yes. Alright, but it's your risk.
Yes, so I would like... This is a thief tool, right? I'm trying to disarm the trap on the door.
You're just trying to disarm the mechanism, which I am very lenient with thieves' tools. You can, do a lot of things with them. You can, cut holes in glass and things of that nature with thieves' tools. If you can imagine, does the game Thief have any of those things? I don't know. I've never played.
I don't remember.
But like those cat burglars in the movies and things of that nature.
Yeah.
You have little tools that you can use for various thieving situations. So first you'll need to examine the mechanism.
Yes.
So I'll get you to make another investigation check because you were just checking to see if you could find any new traps with your other one. So
yeah, I will guide myself the whole way. So 23.
Okay, so, yeah, the mechanism, there's these thick steel rods that are sticking the door to the locks. You can do one of two things. You can unlock 6 locks, and then each one of the metal rods will retract into the door, so that way you can open it. Or you can cut through the metal rods.
Okay. But where's the door? Is this the mechanism we were speaking about? If that got removed, would we be able to just take the door?
Yeah. The mechanism is that there are 6 locks, and when you walk into... You have to unlock all the 6 locks, and then once you get into the room, the door closes, the locks rearm. So, since you're not going into the room, you assume that you won't have to worry about the locks rearming.
Okay. Well, I've turned on the orb, of course, but how else is the door connected? Like, if we open the 6 locks, would we then be able to just drag the door out with a Yeti, or would we...
There are hinges as well. There's hinges that you would have to break.
Okay. And then... Then is the question, like, if we break the hinges, and we then try and pull the door the other way, like, would we be able to pull it the way... in a way that would make opening a lock...
Let me describe a few things that might help answer your questions. Okay. It's giving me light blue for some reason to draw with, so the door opens this way.
Let's see. Okay, yeah, okay.
So if you break the hinges, you can... if the door's open and you break the hinges, then the door is already in the room that you're in. So...
Okay, yeah, okay. So I see I need to make the... Alright. In that case, I will take a look at each of these locks. With the aid of the necromancer.
Okay, yeah, he doesn't have his key, because he didn't have enough time to grab it before he left, and it's not where he left it. So.
Yeah. Is he aiding me, or is it...
he can aid you.
Okay, yeah. And I will take my time, so I will guide myself on each attempt. So here's for the first lock.
He's going to describe to you what the key looked like for each door. Or each lock, I mean.
For the first one, it's a 31.
Okay. Yeah, so he's describing what the key looks like, which helps you figure out where the tumblers are, which is how you manage to unlock the door, or the lock. Yeah. So this is the first lock. The first lock pops open like as if you were just like trying to put a knife in a stick of butter that was hot on a hot day. It feels like you didn't even do anything and the lock's unlocked.
Yeah, I just let the necromancer know. Yeah, I can tell you wanted people to break in there.
He says, well, I wanted to entice people to this area if they wanted to break in and steal my stuff. Alright, so you can try the next lock.
Yeah, just to point out again, the anti-magic is on.
Yes.
I don't know if it will help, but I sure hope so. That's a 28.
Yep. Same thing. Okay. It's almost as if he put the most basic locks on these doors.
That's 24. If I believe it's the most basic locks, then I think that would hold.
Yep. It works. It's nice. Not as smooth, but you managed to get it.
I sneeze under the way, that's what happened.
Yeah, it's not like a hot knife through hot butter, melted butter. It's like a hot knife through semi-solid butter.
Then there is 23.
Yeah, same thing. It's perhaps he increased the challenge to make certain thieves not get tipped off that he's trying to lure them into a trap.
Yeah. Then it's over 30.
Yeah, you can tell that the locks are getting progressively harder in difficulty. But you're still managing to unlock them.
Then there's the last lock, the hardest one. Let's see. Yeah.
Roll guidance, just for my sake. See what you
40.
Yep. He sees that you managed to more quickly unlock this door than probably he has with his own keys. And he goes, "You've done this before, right?"
No, I've never stolen a thing in my life.
He looks at you skeptically. And he says, "Locksmith, then?"
You do realize that was a joke.
And he goes, "Right." And he's like, "Yep, that's what I thought originally," but he was giving you the benefit of the doubt, saying that you could have been a locksmith. Because they need to be able to unlock doors that can't be opened, that sort of thing.
But don't get me wrong, I'm a very good locksmith.
Yeah. It's the reason why in certain places you actually can buy thieves' tools. You don't have to go to a thief to buy thieves' tools, because locksmiths...
Yeah, you can buy,
Yeah, locksmiths need access to these tools. So...
and then there's the last hinges. Could we unhinge them with those as well?
You can try. You have a little tool that is used for cutting small metal implements, such as like padlocks and that sort of thing.
Yeah. Okay, I will try then.
So yeah, you can try. But it's a very small.
I'm gonna use
it's a saw like this big, and it's meant for. It's like 2 or 3 inches long. That is meant specifically for cutting metal. And with 35...
Yeah, I used luck, because this is important. This is why we're here.
It takes you about 10 minutes to get through 5 each on each hinge.
Okay.
But you manage to deftly get on the weakest part, because hinges, in case you're not familiar with how a hinge works,
yeah, I know.
There's a metal plate, and then there's like a little thin piece of metal that holds it, that way it can turn back and forth. You get up close to the little thin piece of metal, and you're using this little tiny metal saw that's a couple inches long, and you're just like, for really quickly for it takes a while. There's like an air of awkwardness as you're taking your time to do this, but usually you're doing it in the cover of stealth and there's no one watching you, that sort of thing. But it doesn't bother you.
I just strike up conversations about all the other places that I definitely didn't steal, and I exaggerate them. Like, this door is so easy. Like, you should have seen that one. Like, while I do this.
The necromancer says, "Well, I did specifically make it to trap people, so it shouldn't have been too hard, but some of them were meant to be slightly harder than how long it took you to
yeah, so, yeah, I understand that, but my point isn't this being easy. My point is the other things that I did that was just way harder, way more accomplishing. So I'm talking myself up, basically.
Mm-hmm. You even go in to describe your escapades with the courthouse and where you met Gare for the first time.
Yes, just exaggerated extremely.
Yes. And you describe the moment where you cut the hole in the stained glass window, if you remember. And,
yeah, I remember.
And you were hanging from a rope. Yeah, those were good times.
So, those were days.
I laugh about Fisher.
Yeah. Yeah, he kept failing. But he had skills that managed to, even though he kept getting caught, he could still manage to get away. Because he had the thief skills rather than the assassin skills that you have.
Yeah.
Which allows you to climb, have a climbing speed and stuff like that, which is extremely useful if you're running away from people, because regular people do not have that. So
yeah, people regularly don't look up.
No, it's that regularly people don't have a climbing speed. They have to make athletics checks and things of that nature.
Yeah.
So that's the advantage to being a thief, is that you can easily get away from enemies if you want to. Either way, or get to like easy vantage points. It's the one I would choose just to make it different instead of full damage all the time. Because everybody chooses assassin. Anyway.
Yeah, well, now there's a bunch of new ones too. That seems interesting, like the revived one.
I'll have to look at it. But yeah, I would choose, with the ones that I know, I would choose the thief. Anyway, yeah, you managed to saw the door off. And it falls with a heavy thud. Wait, as you saw the door off...
I instruct the Yeti when I'm close. As I'm close to sawing it off, I instruct the Yeti. It's almost off now. Get ready to pull it, and I like have him put both of his hands on the door, just so it won't fall or anything.
Yeah, and the reason that you know is because the hinge, the bottom hinge, is buckling under the weight with how much you've sawed off. And that's how you know it's about to break.
If the door opened inwards, I assume we can hold it here and still finish the job there.
Okay, good. Because I was going to say the door was going to fall on you if you didn't do the right thing. Oh, whoops, I just drew all over the Yeti.
Yeah.
So the Yeti...
He has the door now, that's the drawing.
Okay, I just want to get rid of that stupid thing, because I'm anal like that. Anyway, he grabs the door, and by the way, Zarascon, he's been at this, trying to steal this door for at least 15 minutes.
Within the first 3 minutes, Zarascon just went like, okay, screw this, I'm gonna get the necromancer myself.
The necromancer is unfortunately helping him steal this door.
He's right beside me, just this look,
And he looks over at you, Zarascon, and he says, I agreed to give this to him as payment for helping me.
Still, you do know that your big room down there is completely empty.
It was a suspicion, but we'll deal with that after I do this.
So, do I need to wait here or can I leave? Cause
you can do whatever you want, but when we're done, just be in a place where we know where to find you.
I will come running when I hear screaming.
Okay, so, what are you doing, Zarascon?
I am literally going upstairs all the way.
Okay.
Up to the rest of the group, I imagine.
Yep, waiting outside.
Okay, so you're outside, and as you're standing outside, there is a purple dragon, just sort of sitting there, looking out to make sure that nothing approaches the area where you guys are. There's the other Yeti, and he's just sort of standing there. He's been having a rough time. It's not tropical weather or anything, but he's still sweating to death. It's like somebody wearing a winter jacket in Hawaii. On the beach, God! In the middle of the hottest, in the middle of the hottest season in Hawaii.
Poor thing, I know it's suffering.
Yeah, it's just sort of sitting there, and it has even its fur is dripping with sweat, and every 5 minutes it just sort of leans over and grabs this thing full of water and just drinks from it and then puts it back.
So I'm gonna try and find a large branch for it so that it can use a fan.
You can do that. However, you are aware that you're in an undead forest that tends to animate anything that's dead nearby, and all the trees nearby look dead.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's a problem. Okay.
So you can approach a tree and try to do that, but you may get in the situation that you were in the other night for your character.
Screw that. Then the Yeti has to suffer through it, sadly enough.
And this one's huge, so it's a lot bigger than you are.
Oh, 1 second.
Okay. So while he's doing
that... Oh, back.
Okay. So
just had to answer something.
was there anything else that you wanted to do out here? There's the
Yeah, go
Yetis.
check.
There's the ghoul, who is also just sort of sitting there.
Yeah, no interest in talking with that guy. Just gonna chat with the dragon a bit.
All right. But as you're looking at the ghoul, he just sort of is sitting in like a position like a frog would sit, and then every once in a while he just reaches up with his foot and uses his long, big toenail to like scratch the side of his head. It's very creepy looking.
God, you give me just such a perfect joke opportunity. It says, "Watch out! He's gonna jump any moment now."
Yeah.
Just like a frog would.
And you think that he probably could. But either way, you walk over to the dragon.
Mm-hmm.
So was there anything in particular you wanted to discuss with the dragon?
Still thinking it's a good idea to stay with this halfling.
He looks down at you, and you can tell that he's exasperated. You also can tell that he probably would just kill you if he had the choice. But he doesn't. So he sighs heavily and he says, "Use some sort of magical paper against me."
That's why I have, well, let's call them lawyers.
He just looks down at you perturbed. As if, yeah, like I had the option of that when this happened.
Very true. Okay, fair point.
And he just sort of like rests his head on the ground. And just so you're aware, the chromatic dragons, which the purple dragon is part of, they're very European dragon in appearance, very stereotypical D&D dragon. However, this particular one, he has a very thin neck, and it comes to like a very long snout and a pointed nose. And his body is just very fat looking compared to the other chromatics. And his tail is very thin and wispy.
So I'm gonna say the following: if I were by chance to get this contract and were to rip it apart for you, would you still want to kill me?
He says, "Depends on how useful you can prove yourself." And he's saying this in Draconic, because he doesn't want those other people nearby to hear what you guys are talking about.
Yeah, I've been speaking to it in Draconic just completely, like, this is something that's just between it and me.
Yeah. So he says, but he's a very skilled pilferer.
I have noticed, sadly enough.
I love the word you used.
Yeah. He pilfers things, is what that means. Which means stealing. Taking things that aren't his. Anyway. And he goes, so I assume he would keep a close eye on all of his possessions.
I have my ways to get in touch with people. Even though they might not help the situation, they can help us. Okay, I have to switch machines because someone's getting mad.
Okay.
So I'll be right back.
Take your time. Alright. So he's talking with the dragon. So you guys are stealing a door.
Oh yeah, just so you're aware, if he actually does that in character, like Hollow would kill him. I mean, he's releasing a dragon.
And the dragon would kill you.
That's probably fair.
If he succeeded, the dragon would immediately try to kill you.
Yeah.
Because that's what necromantic dragons do.
That's fair as well.
So, yeah, you're attempting to steal a door.
Yeah.
So, the door, the hinge goes tink, and the bottom part breaks, and the Yeti quickly gets its hands into the proper place so that way it doesn't fall on you, since you ordered him to get closer. And he is going to attempt to lift it through the hallway. So he's not only going to have to make athletics checks, he's also going to have to make the dexterity checks as well, with a slightly higher difficulty rating, because he's carrying a door. So, let's see, he has a +4. No, wait, I'm going to check. Yeah, +4.
An extra one.
So he's managing to carry it because it's slightly... He's having a slightly hard time, but he's managing to move it. And he's moved it to here.
Yeah.
And he strains under the weight of the door. And he puts it there on the stairway. And he is now going to have to make an athletics check, as well as a dexterity check, which he's going to be doing in the same turn. So if you wish to guidance him, he can only have it on one. So you'd have to choose which one you give it to him on.
Okay, but doesn't he know he's maneuvering? So, do you already know the way he's maneuvering through the cave system?
He does. However, he now has a door, so he has to figure out how to get the door through as well with his dexterity.
Okay, so I'm gonna guidance him on that then.
Okay, so he's gonna roll his athletics first.
I'll just be focused on the door. Like, how do we get the door through?
Okay, he's managing to keep it lifted. And with his bonus, he could easily fail and drop the door. But he's doing well enough right now. Okay, and his dex is +1, which you made it a +5, so...
Yeah.
He gets stuck. And the door is the reason. The door is wedged between him and the wall, and his body is wedged between the door and the wall.
Okay, so I just tell him, drop the door a little bit, and then just start backing out further up and turn around.
See, here's what's happening. He has the door. Here's the wall. Here's the door. And then this is the end of the door. Here's him, and here's the wall. And he ends at the wall. So he is completely pinned in, is the problem.
Okay. Well, I will look at myself, and I will be very motivated to get this gold door out of the building. So I will guide myself in hopes that I can perhaps push the door a bit to the side. That way he can easily get through.
Okay, so you're going to attempt to unpin him from the door.
Yes, I'm assuming he's helping on this.
Yeah, Yetis aren't that great with confined spaces like this. That's why they have, like, tents and live outside. So he is slightly panicking. The fact that he's stuck. So he is definitely going to help you, is the answer to that, yes.
Okay, then it's 17, which is pretty good for strength.
Okay, so yes, you managed to... you're more... I'm going to say that this is more brain power than strength that you're using. You do get, like, a burst of adrenaline because you're fearing that your door is going to be stuck in here forever. But
that would be the most terrible fate.
Yes, but it's not. You are a tiny halfling who doesn't work out much. So, as a result, you're used to getting quick movements, not strong movements. So, but your burst of adrenaline pushes you over the edge, and you manage to unwedge it slightly. And with the Yeti's help, he manages to push it out, and it unlocks from there. He seems slightly hurt, and I'm gonna roll for that because he was pinned in there, and it squished him against the wall.
Let's see if is he blooded.
He took 2 damage.
I'm back.
Yeah, I'll just say I'll treat you to something nice when we get it outside.
Yeah, you can see that there's like a bruise. Well, he sort of like scritches his chest and he lifts up some of the fur, and you can see that his bluish skin is turning this sickly brownish purple color.
Yeah, I'll just let him know there's something nice for him once we get this out.
So he has a small bruise, but you assume that these creatures can take a lot more damage than that, but it still hurt him. So, yeah, with that, I'll say that he manages to get it into the proper placement, so that way he can push it up, because he failed the dexterity was the problem, so he got himself stuck. It wasn't the door placement, it's that he misjudged the size of the space that he was trying to push himself into and got stuck. So, he manages to push it up. And
I imagine the door is still broken, so...
yeah, since the door is broken, he has enough room to get through there. The problem is he needs to lift it to the other side of the room.
I will give him a D4 in this trying time.
Oof. He sort of starts lifting the door, and then as soon as he gets past this threshold here, it gets caught on the top, which he didn't expect, and he just sort of falls over and the door just slams backward. And the necromancer was back there. So the necromancer has to make to see if he gets crushed behind the door.
And that's how we lost the necromancer.
And let's just say... Oh, I see the player's token. It showed up. So I'm gonna move it. Since I can. Boop. There we go. Either way, so... Let's just say he's a wizard and he's not very dexterous. Whoops. There. That's a D6, not a D12. I almost rolled a D6.
Yes, he has a D6. It's not fair.
He gets crushed by the door. And he takes...
He shouldn't have been standing there. It's all on him.
He thought it was safe because there was a giant monster carrying the door. Okay. He takes 25 damage.
Okay, is he blooded? Is he, how hurt is he looking?
You hear a crunch is the problem.
Okay.
And you look back, and it appears that his left leg, is caught under the door, and the door is laying almost perfectly flat on the ground.
Oof. That's not very good.
And he goes, and he's gonna make a Constitution saving throw. Well, his Constitution's better. Because he is a mage, and they do need some Constitution in order to keep their spells up. No, he falls unconscious.
Okay.
He's just in
So
so much pain that he just...
I will let the Yeti quickly now, and I will aid him to just kind of try and give him a grip so he can lift the door off the necromancer.
Okay. So, he has a +4 to his athletics.
Does he have advantage if I actually start, like, I'm looking for a place where he can grip it and stuff?
I'll say that if you start, like, trying to muscle in too, like, try to lift it too, then he would have advantage.
Okay, so, because I will do that, because the necromancer are unconscious.
Yeah, he just instantly, like, was like, nope, gone.
Yes.
He was just like,
Which is why I'm trying to do this very quickly, so he can keep the door.
So 17 plus 2, yeah, he lifts the door.
And I will feed a healing potion to the necromancer.
Alright. You can roll the healing on that.
It'll fix a broken leg, I promise. 9.
No, it won't fix his broken leg, but he's not bleeding out on the floor or anything anymore.
Nice. Improvements.
However, his leg is crushed. Someone's gonna have to carry him.
I will offer him some morphine while he waits.
Did you actually prepare? I don't remember if you said you prepared.
I have morphine. I have 10 of them.
Okay.
Yeah, he has morphine, drugs.
Alright, he says, just leave me here. He does become conscious again. Because,
okay.
You did heal him, so.
Yeah.
However, he still looks like he can't walk on that leg.
Okay, so he's alive. It's not that bad. And I will take the Yeti further outside. Just
his leg isn't flat anymore either. Like, his bones might have been dust if you hadn't fed him that healing potion.
Nice.
So, yeah, he actually has form to his foot now. Whereas when you first fed him the healing potion, he did not have any form to his foot.
This is fine.
His foot was like standing straight up when the door hit it, and it just sort of like crushed it into almost flat.
Didn't happen to me, so it's okay.
Don't worry. Don't worry about it. The necromancer just saws his foot off and replaces it with something else. That's how the necromancy works. Anyway,
but if he receives an adequate medicine check, then he'll be perfectly fine. But that's for later, I assume, because the Yeti is still trying to get this thing out here.
Yeah. We prioritize the more important, not the well-being of the necromancer, but the gold door.
Okay, so he's resting here behind this wall. So you manage to get the door over there, and it seems like the Yeti he's able to lift it. It's just that he's having a hard time maneuvering it through this place, which is the bigger problem.
So for this case, I will step in front of the Yeti as he's walking, and I will just instruct him to have the gold door forward, like in front of him, and we'll just take it really slowly, and we'll maneuver his way. So I'll just instruct him on, like, yeah, here you need a turn, like put the gold door here, and like I'll just instruct him the whole way.
Okay, so he's gonna try to lift the door to start. Are you helping him?
Well, not by lifting the door. I'm helping him by instructing him where he's
Okay,
going.
so you're gonna try to help him on his dexterity.
Yeah.
Okay. Which is fine. Because, I mean, you would have to actually be trying to lift the door to help him.
Yeah, which I will never do, but that was amazing, so... And nobody saw it but the Yeti. So.
Yeah, the necromancer was passed out. Soon, he just went, ah! And then he just sort of fell on the floor, not moving. Okay, so this is his strength. So he starts falling back down the stairwell as you get halfway up.
Okay.
You have a chance to intervene if you wish, but if you fail, you may have the bad consequences of what's happening happen to you as well.
Let's see. Okay. He's falling behind, which means he's falling pretty quick.
Yeah, like his arms gave out, so the door is sliding backwards towards him.
Okay, but how far is he from the door? If I were to stand up,
He is approximately 10 feet away from the door. So the door will slide 10 feet into him.
Okay, that would work. I will just run out with being super greedy. I see his hands giving out. I will just run over and I will try and steady the door with all my might.
Okay. So it is an athletics check. Unfortunately, he failed his, so he's not helping. So it's just a straight athletics.
Yeah, athletics. This is great. So a D4, and then I will. I mean, that's a super good roll. So 14. Do I get crushed?
You manage to stabilize him before he falls, so he gets another chance, is what I'm going to say. He gets another chance to make an athletics check. However, if he fails this time, then both of you will suffer the consequences.
It's not gonna fail, it's fine.
16. He manages to regain his grip. He just had, like when you're lifting a awkward piece of furniture, he just had a bad grip on it. That was the problem. So he manages to re-put his arms in the proper place. And it's weird. You're seeing this compared to you, gigantic creature, just not being able to push this thing in certain instances, and then you walk over and you're just like using your arm strength to help him, and somehow that works. Maybe
it's only because it's gold. Like
maybe you went into the wrong vocation, is what I'm gonna say that your character. The thought occurs to you. You don't have to follow that anywhere. You don't have to take it seriously. But yes, the thought occurs to your character that this is actually weird and interesting. Either way, he manages to continue pushing it. Now it's the dexterity, which you were helping him. I'm not going to penalize you on that. You were helping him with this. So he does get 2 rolls. Natural 20, so...
Yeah.
He manages to, very easily, with your help, finagle his way up to the top of the stairway. Now he has 1 more athletics, because as soon as he gets it to the huge one can just lift it without even needing to make checks. So he's going to give it to him as soon as he can.
Yeah, so for the last one, I got him as well. You're almost there, I'll say.
So... yeah, he manages to get it across the hallway. And he pushes it out of the doorway, and the bigger one sees this thing coming out of the door. And Xeroscon, you witness this as well. The big door coming through. Xeroscon, I'm gonna get you to make a perception check.
Perception, of course. If my game wants to... oh, there we go. It does load, it's a bit slow. Yeah, it says I have no connection to the server.
That probably means you need to reload.
Yeah.
Hold on, I'm trying something, because last time when I used Discord it was all wonky, so I need to do something real quick. Let me see.
Because sometimes Roll20 just disconnects from the server if you've been on there too long and stuff like that.
I've been reconnected already. And perception, you said?
Yeah.
$24.
Alright. You look at the door, and on the corner that is closest to you, as you're watching the door come through the other door, you see that there's a big red patch on it.
So...
And you see the Yeti come out of the door. He's crawling on hands and knees, and then he gets out. The bigger Yeti comes over and picks up the door, because he can easily just pick it up, because he's much smaller than he is.
I will just tell them in Yeti. Well, you noticed that, but as soon as it came out, I will tell them in Yeti. Well, good job getting the door out. Take this potion. It looks like you got a bruising, and I will give him a potion of healing. It will patch you up, whether now or later you're choosing.
Okay, he takes the little thing and he says, "There's technically no word for potion in their language. It's just translated to drink."
So I will tell him that this drink will fix your wounds.
Okay, he knows what wounds are. They have a word for that. So he goes, "Weird wizard drink."
As I told you earlier, I'm a many things. I know all the magics.
And he just looks at it. He's pinching it between his fingers like this, and he's looking at this tiny little thing compared to him. And he goes, "Okay." And he has like a little leather satchel that he puts it in.
Yeah.
Yeah, in the time they were down there, Zarkan and the Purple Dragon has been plotting and scheming of plans to get the contract from Howler.
Okay, yeah. I'll let you decide what those are.
Mm-hmm.
Either way,
I just need to find the right way to initiate them.
Either way, so it seems like, well, the one thing that you notice is that, I'll say that Lucius was with you guys. So he came up to the top.
I imagine he was probably with us the whole time. I think this door is a good idea. It will look great for the bag, that sort of thing.
He nods. He seems to appreciate it. And have you turned off your orb?
Yeah, I turned it off now.
Okay,
I'll turn it off now.
If you turn it off now, it glows. The door is glowing again. It still has the enchantment on the door to prevent it from breaking.
I'll ask Lucius if he can help me identify what this thing is, if it's just breaking or whatnot.
Okay.
He has identify, so...
Yeah. He'll take 10 minutes to do that. So that way I don't have to mark off a spell on his sheet.
Yeah.
So, in the meantime, can we get moving again since the item we were looking for isn't here?
Well, I would like to have a look in the basement myself as well, before we go.
Fine.
Yeah, you stood at one end of a mile-long room and said, "Nope, nothing." So...
Yeah, I was like, nope, not gonna do this. I'm not gonna die here alone today.
So, there could be something in that mile-long room. Because you didn't in detail search the room.
Yeah. So Serge was like, fine, I'm coming along then again. Stompity stompity stomp.
Alright. And I'll say that the 10 minutes pass. And he says, "Yeah, it's just a simple enchantment that is stronger than regular enchantments, but it sacrifices giving you any other abilities with the enchantment. It just simply prevents it from breaking."
Okay. Well, it's a good thing it's ours now. A breakable door would be nice. I just smile.
Yeah, he He genuinely grins because he wants it for the bank, but whatever you decide will be up to you guys as characters.
For now, the Yeti has it, the big one.
Yeah, the big one. This thing is like you know those wooden serving trays people have in bed when they're sick? It's just the size of one of those compared to him, so he can easily lift it. It would be annoying for him to have to lift it for a long time, but he can easily lift it and it won't cause him exhaustion or anything.
Yeah.
It's big enough to put, like, a giant elk on. And you assume that he could eat an entire giant elk by himself, probably, in one sitting. So, you guys are going to the bottom floor?
Yep.
Yeah, I suppose so.
Okay.
Yep, with Explo and Lucius, I assume.
Yes. Explo is there, but he's not really doing anything. Because he's got alchemy specializations, but all the stuff that would have contained alchemical ingredients and stuff, he looks around and it's just all broken. So, it doesn't look like there's anything useful he can use.
Well, I'll ask Surskan on the way. The necromancer, he seemed to be able to heal people. Can you take a look at him on the way down?
What's
happening? You have no idea what he's talking about. You don't.
Oh.
Well, you do. You saw the red splotch on the door, but other than that, you have no clue what he's talking about.
What happened? Did you kill the necromancer by accident?
No, I wouldn't have killed anyone.
Right. That's why I was nearly poisoned to death, sure.
Just
saying,
if he would have rolled a 5 or lower, I would have seriously considered him just being squished. So, just letting you guys know that he did dodge a ball there by rolling slightly higher than that.
He just stood in a bad position for when the Yeti was scaring the door. Managed to drop it on him.
Sure. I bet the necromancer will tell me a different story.
Oh, I've been quite truthful, actually. The Yeti was just dropped the door on him. So, I don't see why you're so suspicious of me the entire time.
Oh, you know, I can talk to people and such.
Yes, I can see you're speaking to me currently. I would be more surprised if he could, to be honest.
Well, then I could do it telepathically, but since you can do that since I have a handy-dandy ring...
Well, then I just won't be speaking to you telepathically. I still have a mouth.
Anyways, what will happen? I will be... The necromancer will be the real judge of what really happened.
Yeah, you guys have been talking for long enough that you are now here. And you come around the corner and you see him sitting directly around the corner. And his leg doesn't look like... It's broken, which you know can only be fixed. The greater restoration spell or time and proper medicine checks every once in a while. But he still has some damage on him that you could heal, but it won't fix his broken leg, unfortunately.
Well, sadly enough, I can't fix that leg up. Since you know, I don't have access to those spells yet.
Well, that's a shame. Our last paladin had them in plenty.
Well, the thing is, I need more powerful magic to heal his broken leg.
I understood. I was
Yeah,
just
unfortunately,
mentioning or
lesser restoration. In the terms of broken things, if he had a broken toe or something like that, it would work. But greater restoration is the only way to heal a full limb.
A leg.
Yeah.
It's a bit more. Look, I can chop it off and see what he can do with his necromantic powers to get a new one or something.
should definitely ask him first. I mean, seems like
Yeah.
it's intact still.
Yeah, what I
You're
was
talking
about
right in
to
front of him,
say.
by the way.
Yeah. And
I
he
know.
goes, that shouldn't be necessary.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that you would have other ideas.
Would you like us to cure your headache by chopping your head off?
He goes, I'd consider it if it would make you guys stop talking about cutting off my leg.
I just laugh.
You know, that cutting off of his leg was just sarcasm.
He goes, I could animate it, but that wouldn't be helpful to me.
Well, it would
very
be quite
good.
entertaining, just seeing your leg dance around. You could do a duet with it.
He just smiles in a very condescending way, as if he's just saying, sure, right, of course.
But anyways, I can at least fix your leg up enough so that you can at least walk a little bit, but you still need to let it heal over time then.
Yeah, and your character would know, because I just give this one to healers, people who have the ability to heal. Yeah, broken limbs. You can make a medicine check to set it properly if you have the right materials to like wrap it and everything. And within a week or two, he should be fine. People in this world heal faster than our world. So
Okay,
broken
let's
limbs
see.
don't take months to heal. They take maybe a week or two.
Let's see if I can make it worse with a natural one. Don't I dare roll a natural one. 20.
Alright, so what supplies are you wishing to use?
I don't have a lot of supplies actually.
At
just-
minimum, you would need a
Mhm.
splint, which would be wood and cloth.
Well, cloth I have more than enough of. I remove those planks, right?
Yep, you can go down there, easily grab some wood from those planks if
Yeah,
that's
just
what you want.
use my battle axe to like chop them in more usable pieces.
Okay.
Then wrap it around his leg with cloth, and then well, he can stand and walk a bit on it, but don't put too much pressure on it. And then just make from a few planks like a walking stick.
Okay. Yeah, the planks are longer than he is, so you just break one in half and he can use that as a rudimentary one.
Crutch.
Rudimentary. He uses the flat end, not the broken end. Just to be under his arm, just to be clear. Because that would
Obviously.
cut into his arm severely.
It will be very
Anyway.
comfortable.
Yeah. But either way, yeah, he seems fine. He's gonna be in combat. You know that he's gonna move at half movement.
hmm
So if there's anything that cuts his movement in half, he would move at a quarter movement. So
It's awful.
yes. And he's a regular human. So and he doesn't have any magical enhancements or anything. So
5 feet. Ouch.
yeah. He can move 15. Double to
That
30
half.
if he
So-
dashes.
hmm
However, if he hits difficult terrain or something prevents him from moving at full speed,
7.5.
yeah, which is 15
5.
feet. So, yeah, if if you guys get into a combat situation, he's probably just going to concentrate on running away. And
Very
maybe
obviously.
casting a spell or two once he's at a reasonable distance. Because as soon as if you guys die, then he's going to need to be far enough away to run away.
Yeah.
Because
So
everything is going to be able to catch up to him, no matter what.
So I'll just ask him, well, do you want to come with us? It's up to you. You seem to be in a rough shape.
He says, I may be needed to activate the artifact, but if you guys wish to move stealthily or with some speed, then I will remain behind.
I will definitely be moving stealthily, personally.
Because I'll just say that someone who requires a crutch to move isn't going to be able to, like, hunch over or things of that nature, so he's going to be rolling at disadvantage for stealth.
That's fair.
So, if you want him to stay here, he will stay here.
Yeah, I'm not telling him to stay. I'm not telling him to come either. I'm just saying I will definitely be moving stealthily.
Okay, Zarskan, any opinions? You know that he will slow you down, so from your character's perspective, he is a weak link if he comes with you.
Yes.
He's not talking. Can
Are
he
you
hear
awake?
this?
Good morning.
He's not talking.
Geo.
Send him a message. You wrote God morning.
Yeah, that's fine. It's God's morning today. Yeah, Geo, do you hear us?
Yeah, I do.
We
We
were
were talking to you for quite a while.
Oh gosh. I guess I just zoned out because you guys were talking about stuff.
Okay, the necromancer is asking if you guys want to bring him with you. He says that he may be needed for the artifact, but you know that he is injured and will move at half speed, so he will be at a weak link for sure. So it's up to you. I wanted to know your character's opinion.
Well, if you're needed to activate it, then come along, but
Can't we
if
just take this artifact with us?
that's also an option, if we can take it to this.
Yeah, that's
Just
why I'm
letting
asking
you
him.
know that if Zarskan is a military-esque person, this guy, if this was a war situation, you would leave him behind in a medical area, if possible.
But he also is a valuable asset, so...
Yes, that's true. So I'm just giving you some perspective here.
But yeah, we asked if we could take this artifact if it was small enough for us to just yoink it.
Okay, so you're asking him, like, how big the artifact is?
Yeah.
Oh, and I forgot to draw the artifact on here.
And if it's
I was
movable.
going to do that, but I didn't. Just gonna do a thing here. Okay. Okay. I'm not sure if that's perfectly square or not, but it's supposed to be perfectly square.
Yeah, it's fine.
And it's cube. It's a cube.
Yeah.
But I don't have the drawing talents to make a cube on Roll20 with a trackpad. So.
And is it, like, can we carry it? Can we take it? Like, how big is it? It's stuck to the ground.
It's I will finish drawing it, but it's approximately this big. So it's in this high.
And is it super heavy or is it carryable? Like,
it's made of let me see. It's made of onyx.
Oof. How big did you say again it was? Like how high?
Like it's small.
But,
It's about the same size as my head.
Yeah, it could fit in a bag of holding.
But
It's fine.
That's doable.
Yeah.
And it has carvings in it, so it's not like solid onyx or anything.
Mhm.
Although the inside is pure onyx. He had to carve it out of. He found. He describes that he found like a huge shard of onyx underground while he was making his lair, and it just so happened that he didn't need to buy it. So he just used the shard of onyx to carve out the thing that he needed.
Okay.
And it has symbols on it.
A lot. Well, let's go down there and
Whoops.
find it.
Just give me a second. I was going to draw what one of the symbols looks like.
Okay.
Just that way you have a simple idea of what's going on there. That's just a simple. I'm using a trackpad and a mouse. I'm not using like professional artistry stuff. So it looks similar to something like that.
Yeah.
Which is an arcane room, is what it is. But this particular side looks kind of like a U with little chips out of the bottom.
Yeah.
Well, if we find that, then we have the right thing.
Yeah. He does draw what the other sides look like, but that would take too much time. And I'll tell you if you find the artifact that looks exactly like that. So don't worry about it.
The four of us, because it's Zarska, Lucius, Howler, and Explo.
Yeah.
Oh
yeah,
and the bear.
Explo is there, but
Yeah.
you
And
don't
the
have
bear
to drag his token around everywhere if you don't want it, but you can.
Oh gosh, there is. And the bear and the abomination, so technically the six of us.
Yep. So
Well, there's not a token for the abomination. Gonna put it out.
yeah, it's a very particular. That's the problem, is that it can't have art for every configuration of creature possible. So you could just make a blue slatty if you wanted to, but that's up to you guys.
It's up to Tim.
Yeah.
He'll do it if he wants.
Yeah, I'll just leave it up to you guys, whatever you guys want to do. So, what are you doing in this room? You enter this room. It's a rectangular prism in orientation room. Like a hollowed out a rectangular prism.
Well, is there like any loose rocks on the floor or anything like that?
It's 100 feet across, right?
It's 100 feet from here to here.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Yeah.
So I will the other ones know. You can keep moving ahead if you wish, and I will stealth into this corner and move this way.
Yeah, so what Sarskan's gonna do is grab a rock and just jerk it as far as he can to see if there's anything coming to that sound.
Nothing.
Well, that's at least a good thing.
Alright, what else are you doing?
I move to here.
Alright, and these two aren't as stealthy as Howler, so they don't even bother. They just follow you.
So yeah, there's a group, and then there's some extra hiding in case they get attacked or whatever. I'm just moving.
Yep, we are looking around for anything that's in the room, I hope.
Alright, so since you three are moving as a group, I will let you have access to their sheets. And you can roll with whoever's highest with aid from somebody else.
I
So-
toss Explore a torch as well, and I ask if he can keep it, so we see the main group.
Okay.
What do we roll? Investigation, perception.
Yeah, currently you're rolling investigation if you're searching.
I will definitely investigate, but on my own, like.
Okay,
Because
so
I'm not
since
near
you're looking
everyone
in a
else.
different area, I'll say that you can roll for something else if you want.
Investigate 9. Just double checking to see who's the highest.
I mean, we can't
Yes.
just roll me and you. I mean, we're 2 players.
Yeah, Explo is the highest. Does Explo roll with advantage? Question
Yeah.
mark. Okay, that's another one then. 19.
Okay. So we'll start with Howler since he got less. You're looking at this area, Howler, and there are various restraints and chains along the floor in the front.
Anyone seem magical?
You can make an Arcana check.
Okay. Cool. Arcana 19.
There's one, but it's quite large. It looks like it's something much bigger than what you could hold.
Okay. I
Like,
guess I will not take
It
it then.
looks like it's a chain that would go around something's neck, and the chain itself could encompass like 3 or 4 of your widths.
Okay. Yeah, that's probably too big.
Yeah, it's a pretty big chain. So that's the first thing that you notice, is these chains. But however, as you get further into the room, you notice that there are like little footprints of bare feet, of humanoid feet. Little other footprints that are much smaller. Little fingerprints even that are on the ground. Handprints on the ground. Other various tracks on the ground. However, it looks like there could have been easily a couple hundred or a couple thousand individuals in this room at one point. You assume that this is the room where he kept his stash of undead.
Yeah.
Would be logical to keep his stuff safe.
Yeah, and both groups notice these things. Howler, as you're searching along the wall, you notice these metallic drag marks along the wall, as if someone was like dragging a really large metal thing along the ground. Because this room is made of stone, and there's like scuff marks on it, as if something metal scraped against it.
Do I find any coins? So many dead people lost that.
You don't see any coins, no.
Damn.
You don't see
No
any
coins for you.
You don't see anything that looks valuable in this room other than maybe that collar, that huge collar that you saw.
I will keep it in the back of my mind. Maybe I will send the Yeti on another mission.
Take another
For
couple
1
hours
collar.
to get it down the stairs. Like 9 flights of stairs, that poor Yeti. Either way. So,
It
you
was
guys in the middle,
PTSD of stairs.
with a 19, you notice that, you notice a little bit more. I'm giving you a little bit more because you rolled higher, even though Howler got 18. You notice that at this end of the room, there's a pedestal, and it's high up. It's as if it's like a president's podium, and this is like an audience area.
I smell trap.
And this podium looks like it has a slot on top of it that is big enough for the cube to fit on. And you probably assume that the necromancer would stand up here and he would give declarations out to the rest of his undead. Because some undead can understand. And the ones that can't, he still needs to give orders to. So, yeah, you assume he would stand up there and give grandiose speeches to probably no one who could fully grasp what he was saying. That sort of thing. You notice over here, there's a gigantic hole in the wall.
Over where?
Where I'm pinging.
I don't see the pinging.
Yeah, we don't see the ping. Are you on object layer?
Yep.
Okay.
Token layer, that's there.
That's me pinging.
Oh.
Yeah, so this is where you guys are.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was
I'm continuing going over here.
Yeah.
I'm continuing going over here. Do you see this?
No.
No, that's outside the map for us.
Is it? Oh,
It's all like up to here.
that's weird. I'll just draw the things that you can't see where you can see them.
Hold on. I think I can fix this. 1, 2, 3.
Because for some reason, if you zoom out too far, then it gives you more map, which I don't understand.
I've expanded it by 4, seems that I need to expand it a bit more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Ah, there we go. There it is.
See, this is where the podium is that I was pointing out before.
Yeah, we see it now.
And this, over here, there's a gigantic hole in the wall.
Yeah.
It's approximately 40 feet wide and 50 feet tall. The hole.
That's...
As we get closer to the podium, do I see anything in the area, any traps or anything at all? Like, is the item there? That sort of thing.
You look at the podium, you don't see the artifact. It looks like there's a slot for the artifact to go in on top of the podium, but it's not there.
There's nothing on the altar whatsoever, right?
No, there's no people. There's nothing.
Okay. Well, I will try and investigate to see if there's something hidden. Maybe like a hidden door or...
Okay.
There, and bet it's down that hole there.
Most likely, it doesn't hurt to look, though.
Alright, so you examine the podium, make an investigation check.
Yeah. Investigation, that's 9. It's clear. You're probably right.
You open a little drawer that's on the podium, and there's some spell components in there.
Oh, okay. Well, I take those.
They're basic spell components, so...
Yeah, I take
you
them
have
anyway.
a spell component bag.
Sure.
Is what you have. So you can put that in your inventory if you want it. So nothing that costs money, but the basic components to cast spells, if you were a wizard.
Yeah.
With a 7 investigation, that's all you found, unfortunately. And just so you guys know, the necromancer isn't here.
Yeah,
he decided to stay behind.
Yeah.
Because
so
he thought that probably walking across a mile-long room wouldn't be good in his condition. So unless if you really need him to come with you, he's not going to.
Yeah, no, I didn't bother him, so it's not there.
Well, down the hall we go.
Alright. I'm going to indicate the area where the hole is. Where the hole is taking up. So it starts here and goes to about there. And there's like dirt all over the floor.
I will kind of quietly and look for traps on the way as we move into this new area.
Alright. You walk into this new hallway. And you see whatever you get when you make a perception check.
Perception.
All of us?
No, you guys are staying slightly behind the rogue, I assume?
Okay, yeah.
19.
Okay, and I need you to make a stealth check, because you said you were moving stealthily.
Yeah. Stealth check. That's a 40, yeah.
Okay, so ahead of you, approximately 50 feet, as you're going down this large tunnel, you hear... and you see what looks like a light. There's a slight curve down. And you see what looks like a light coming from down beneath you slightly.
Okay, so I will. Is this straight down or is it
It's
just
not like sheer straight down. It's like it curves down, and you're at the top of this incline, and at the bottom of this incline, near the ceiling, you would assume. And this is 40 or 50 feet high. You see a light emanating from that area.
Okay, so I will move towards the edge where I can get a look at this guy, like whoever this is, and I will send a message to Lucius, telling him to inform the others, either be really fucking quiet, or come running when you hear something.
Okay. So Lucius sends you all a message. Except Zer's gone because he can't. So he keeps, you see him keeping on trying to send you something message-wise, magically. But it keeps not working.
Fine for this time. He just, sends him on the whitelist for now.
Okay. He says that there's something nearby, and either be quiet, or just wait until there's some noise to start approaching.
Okay, time to be quiet. Let's see how quiet I can be. Boy.
Yeah, I'm not waiting for them now. I'm still going for the edge.
Yeah, that's okay, but I want to see what his stealth check is.
16.
Okay. You move a little closer, Howler, and you see, floating near the ceiling of this cavern, as you inch your way down, you don't have much to hide behind. So you have a feeling if it sees you, then it's going to be able to chase you the entire way down this hallway, which you're approximately 100 feet down this hallway.
Okay.
And
I'm pretty confident it won't see me.
It hasn't noticed you yet because you did so well on your previous stealth. And you see, floating near the ceiling, 5 skulls that appear to be on fire. And they seem to be laughing.
Okay, so there's 5 skulls. Is there anything else or just the 5 skulls?
Just the 5 skulls.
Okay. Do I know what these creatures are? Have I heard of anything similar regarding treasure?
You can make a nature check, or you can make a history check on this particular one.
I'll make a history to see if I've heard of these guarding treasures.
I think we fought these things before.
Yeah, that's 15.
15? Yeah, you fought this thing before, Howler. except it was purple and inside an Ifriti's chariot.
Oh,
It wasn't Halloran
okay.
who did that. It was
No.
it was another character.
Yeah.
The other character told you about it. Then is what I'm going to say.
Sure.
One of the other characters told you about this.
Sure.
Goroth
In that case,
or Gareth or whatever his name
Cool.
was. Goroth. That's
Goroth.
right. Accidentally summoned this creature into an Afridi's chariot.
Yeah. Well, in that case, they would probably have said that it woke up and stuff again, and they had to get rid of the magic in it for it to not work.
Yeah,
So
there's a few ways to get rid of it.
How far away out of the ground are these creatures, like off the ground?
They are floating near the ceiling, so they're approximately 40 feet up.
Okay, but from where my cave is the cave opening somewhere near the ceiling, or?
Okay, here's where you are, or were. You're at the top here. There's an incline, approximately 30 or 40 feet down, and the cave remains the same opening. And you went down a little bit on this incline, and you saw them at the ceiling. So they're still at the ceiling, but you could say that you're sort of parallel with them. Let's say...
I could cheese this pretty bad if you wanted to.
The answer to your question, how far away from your current position are they? I'd say 50 feet.
Okay. So 50 feet away, 40 feet up.
Yeah. They're 50 feet away from you currently, in a straight line. But if you went down to the bottom, where the bottom of the part of the cavern where they are, they would be 40 feet straight up.
Okay. So here's what I can do. Because I'm in the anti-magic orb, that's 50 feet, right?
Yes.
That's one option. I could just run in and dispel them. That's probably the best.
There are 5 of them.
Yeah, it's 50 feet around me, so...
So the top part of your sphere, if you were standing at the bottom, it would be a 10 feet.
Oh,
so they'd have to be within 10 feet of each other.
Yeah.
Because they're flying on the roof of the cavern. Just sort of looking around. Because they can float, so why wouldn't they stay as high as they can?
Yeah, that's fair. Well, I'll just inform Lucius that there's some fiery skulls here. They're run by magic. If we could dispel them, that's one option. Otherwise, we can probably try and kill them.
Okay.
Not too much trouble.
He's gonna make an Arcana check. So, whoever has his sheet open, do you mind making an Arcana check with Lucius's stats?
Arcana there.
Alright. He thinks for a moment, and he says, in a message back to you, Howler, these sound like things that a necromancer can make. The only way to truly kill them is, like you said, dispel them. Or the killing blow has to be landed with radiant damage. Either way works.
Well, for now, I'll just tell him, well, let the paladin know then that they attack these creatures.
Okay. He whispers in your mind, Zerazgon. There are flame skulls nearby. Do you know what a flame skull is?
Do I? Let's see if I do. History, correct?
History for that, yeah. Or you can make a nature or arcana. You can make a whole bunch of things.
Let's see what's better then. Yeah, history. I said history. Boo.
13. Unfortunately,
Yeah,
you wasted
ooh.
your natural 20 and that 12. So 13.
Mm-hmm.
You've heard of creatures that are skulls that are on fire, which a flame skull sounds like.
So he goes like, eh,
He goes,
perhaps.
we can kill them with radiant damage for the killing blow.
If only I was level 11, then I could just do it automatically.
Yeah, you have to deal radiant damage on the killing blow.
Mm-hmm.
It automatically turns them off if you do that.
Good to know.
But it has to drop them to 0 hit points.
Mm-hmm.
You can drop them to 0 hit points any other way, and they remain inanimate for a while. They'll just sort of fall on the floor and not move. But eventually they'll just get back up, the flames will reignite, and then they'll just continue doing what they were doing.
Understood.
Because he succeeded the check, so Lucius knows the answer to that question. Alright.
Well,
So
just
Zerston,
moving
are
to...
you moving forward, is the question.
Well,
You rolled a stealth, but are you moving forward?
yeah, I'm asking Lucius, should we just go on? Because I think Howard is doing final zone so far.
Well, if we continue moving, we will eventually encounter these creatures and have to avoid them.
Well, let's see how he does. Let's see if he comes back to us with some news or needs our help.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so they're waiting on you, Howler.
Okay, well, I already told them, so waiting on them.
Yeah, so he messages you back then and says that they could kill them. They have the means to kill them, if that's what you want to do, but they don't know what you want to do. Should they just try to... There's a group of them, and they're not as stealthy as you. Do you think that they could sneak past these things in an area where there's no cover?
I mean, I will just tell them, I mean, their eyes have burned up, and they don't seem very bright. It's up to you guys.
Right, he doesn't know what all these things are. Great.
Yeah.
Well, just tell him to go on, and we'll wait for him.
Okay. So Lucius says that they will wait for you to see what's beyond them, beyond those skulls, just to see if it's worth going down here at all. But if the path continues for a long time, let them know. But they're gonna wait.
I'll let them know. I'll be out of range for message then.
Yeah, they're fine with that as long as you can come back and tell them what's going on. They have faith in your abilities.
In your
But
abilities.
I'm just gonna let you know that there's not much place to hide in here. It looks like something dug a tunnel that's perfectly circular. So there's not many rocks or anything you can hide behind. So you're gonna have to roll really high stealths every single time that you pass by these creatures.
How many turns would it take to pass, or how many feet would it take to pass by their vision or their area?
I would say that you can roll 1 stealth to go by them.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I will just go by them then.
Okay. So you have to roll another stealth. You got that natural 20. That allowed you to sneakily get closer to
them. 32.
Okay. With a 32, you manage to dart behind a little tiny piece of dirt that is just barely bigger than you are. As they look, the skulls just sort of turn towards a noise that you make. But they don't see you. So then they continue just sort of floating back and forth.
Yeah.
every once in a while.
Oh, let's pass them then, because I look forward a bit.
Okay. You continue forward. By the way, it's completely dark down here.
I have a small wooden lantern.
Okay. The skulls don't seem to notice your light as you continue past down the tunnel.
Yeah, and it's like on because I only take it up. I need to see a little bit, and then I close it. So I'm very careful with it.
Okay. Stupid nose. So, you continue on, and as you're continuing, eventually, I need you to make a perception check, actually, first.
Perception.
Yep.
Alright. Perception. That's 23.
Okay. With a 23, you hear about, maybe 50 feet ahead of you. Sounds like someone's
Coming
running away
closer.
from you.
Oh, running away. Okay.
Sounds like footsteps. And they're getting further away. And they're
Okay,
in front of you.
I'll follow it a little while then.
Alright.
I assume it's only one way to go anyway, so.
You hear it stop. Do you continue following it?
Well, I'll do it quietly until I can see what it is.
Okay, I need you to make another stealth check then.
What?
I'm
Get
talking
something
to
out.
Howler.
Yeah, 31.
Just not expecting that. Well.
Okay.
Things.
Approximately 50 feet ahead of you, you sort of open your hooded lantern. And as you open your hooded lantern, you see this little huddled over figure. He's got like this purple robe on, and his face is like greenish. And he sort of glances up at you as soon as you open the hooded lantern, and he goes. He's about your size, except he's like huddled over, kind of like Gollum, except he's got like green skin and a purple cloak.
Do you have any idea what this is?
You can roll. I would say history or arcana for this one.
Okay, Arcana, yeah.
Alright. You're not sure. This thing could be a variety of things, but it didn't look healthy. May have been a halfling at one point, but it's not now.
Alright. Well, it didn't look very strong,
It looked like it was just sort of huddled over, trying to hide behind a piece of dirt, and then when you shone the light on it, then it darted away.
Does
Deeper
it
into
seem
the
to
dirt.
be alive? Like a living creature? Because I got
With that arcana check, no. It's definitely not.
Okay. Well, I'll try and get a bit closer so I can get a jump on it. Like, I'll put...
I'll get you to make a perception check at that point.
Perception. 25?
You don't hear it stopping running. The second time, when you pointed the light directly at it, it doesn't seem like it wants you to know where it is, so it just keeps running away.
Yeah, I will move faster towards it so I can jump it.
Okay. You start moving closer towards it. It continues running away, and as you start catching up with it, because you can move faster than this creature, you hear it go. It seems like it's really trying to get away from you. And then suddenly you realize you don't need your hooded lantern. There's a source of light coming from somewhere. and the creature, you can see the creature out in the open, and it's running towards where this light is coming from.
Okay, so before it actually reaches the light, I want really quick, like doing my rogue dashing, and I want to try and kill it before it arrives.
Okay, what are you doing? How are you attacking it?
First with this one, then with this one.
Okay, I'll say that you get in within melee range then.
That's poof, poof, so yeah, that's
Well,
the
it's
left
not really
numbers.
surprised. It knows you're there.
That's fine, but it's still, well,
It's not sneak attack, I don't think.
as long as I have advantage, it's sneak attack. If it doesn't see my exact position, which I assume it doesn't, then I still have it.
Okay. I'll give it to you.
So that's 48 piercing damage.
48?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's without it being surprised.
Okay. Alright. It gets stabbed and it goes, ah! Ah! And it just sort of pushes you. But as it pushes you, it touches your face. Which... I need to look up things. I don't need Yeti anymore, so that's not going to be useful. Okay. Where is it? Here it is. Okay.
Does it look bloodied and all, or?
It appears to be casting a spell. Okay, perfect. You know what I'm gonna do? I am going to use a character sheet because this character has this spell. So, just gonna use that to roll damage.
Yeah. What spell is it?
Okay.
Blight.
Yup. You need to make a Constitution saving throw.
Yeah. What's the DC?
The DC is... it should say here somewhere. Oh, the DC is 20, so you don't make it.
Okay.
So, you take 26 damage.
Yeah.
And you feel the rot begin to take hold in your body.
I'm gonna uncanny dodge it.
It is a touch spell, so I'll allow it. If it were a regular spell, I might. It depends on the spell, what you need to use.
Yeah. What does it do after that? Does it move away? Does it look hurt? What's happening?
Let me just double check. How much? Whoops, I clicked Steam, I didn't mean to. No, it's not bloodied, but it is hurt. You did deal damage to it.
Yeah.
Yep. I'm just checking. Yep. Okay. You stabbed it.
And what else does it do? Does it move away? Does
it continues running away.
Okay, I'll get an attack of opportunity then.
Yep.
In this case, it's probably gonna be one of my neck daggers.
Yeah.
So,
you can use whatever weapon as long as it's equipped.
Yeah, neck daggers are always equipped. That's 18 to hit.
18 to hit. Yep, that hits.
Then I'll need it to make a Constitution saving throw.
Okay. What does the Constitution saving throw do?
It does damage.
It doesn't take any damage.
Okay.
However, it takes the 11 damage from the piercing.
Yeah.
Because your wrist daggers are magical, luckily. Either way, it continues running, and it gets out into the open of what looks like a large underground chamber.
Okay. Well, on my turn then, because I assume that was his turn.
Yep.
I will try and lose it so it doesn't have sight on me. So as my bonus action, I will hide in darkness.
Okay. You have to roll stealth.
Yeah.
Okay.
Does it spot me?
Let's see if it does. It has +9 to perception. Whoops. It rolled a natural 1, so no, it doesn't see you. And it just goes and runs deeper into the room.
That's with advantage because it doesn't see me. That's a critical hit. So it's gonna take damage, and it's gonna take sneak attack damage. So that would be 45 more damage, because that's how I normally do it.
45. Alright, it is now considered bloodied. But it continues running into the room. And as you look into the room, I'll need you to make a perception check.
Perception?
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm not following it into the light.
Yeah, but you can see into the light, so
that's fair.
You can still see. Alright. So here's the thing that you notice. The little creature is running towards this gigantic looking mole creature. It's approximately 40 feet high, and it's just sort of sitting there, really fat looking and rotund. Its little claw arms just barely wrap around its rotund body.
How far away is it from this creature?
It is approximately...
Currently?
It's approximately 40 feet away from it now. And it's continuing to run towards it.
Does the creature seem to have spotted it yet?
The big mole creature is not attacking the little creature.
Yeah, but does it seem to have spotted it? Like this? Does it notice the creature coming running towards it?
It's looking at the little... Oh, excuse me. It's looking at the little creature running towards it.
And how far away is it from me, the big creature?
The big creature is approximately, at this point, 170 feet.
Okay. So let me just check the range on that. So actually I don't have to move any closer, because if I point a fireball 100 away between the two creatures, it should hit both of them. So I need 2 dexterity saving throws.
Okay. Howler's gonna try to kill the boss before anybody even moves up. Okay.
Typical Howler fashion.
Dexterity, you said?
Yeah.
Okay. Does 18 succeed?
I believe. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, my saving throw is 15. Yeah.
Okay. So the little creature succeeds. And the big mole creature ironically has more dexterity than the little one. However, it fails.
Yeah, because it's big. But anyways, the guy that succeeded still takes 43 fire. No, half of that. So it takes 21 fire damage, and the big guy takes 43 fire damage. So I used it at the higher level. I won't.
Okay. And the mole took the full.
Yeah, and it's fire if it has anything to say.
It does not. Because unlike most zombies in my world, these ones are not affected in the same way by fire. Because they are moles and they have a special ability that just puts out fire on them. So.
Yeah.
So, as soon as you hit them with this big explosion, the mole goes, and it reaches its little clawed hand towards the little creature, and it just sort of scoops him up, and the little creature yells in common, "Get away!" And the mole creature starts running back into another tunnel behind it.
How quickly does it move on a turn?
It doesn't run into the tunnel, it just moves under the ground. Because it is a mole. So it just digs a tunnel underground.
Is there any way I could arc a shot and hit this creature? Scary.
Unfortunately, it dug into the ground. You have no line of sight.
That's fair. Well, yeah. Well, it's stinging away.
But you've learned a few things. that little tiny thing was able to cast blight on you. For something that really hurt.
I'll look around quickly to scan the room. Is there anything else there other than a small druid path further along, or is this like the end of it? Or
there is another tunnel that apparently the mole was running towards before it dug underground to prevent you from hitting it again.
Okay. Well, I will stick to the shadows and I will move towards that path to see what's further ahead.
You're just gonna keep chasing the main boss. Okay. I'm not saying this is the main boss, but it was stronger than probably what you thought it was.
It was. But it can't see me, because I will do this quietly. It's fine.
You begin moving into the next area. Okay, and as that happens, you three are standing back. It's been a while since Howler has said anything. Like 10, 15 minutes, which in fight time is a long time.
He's probably alright. We don't need to worry about it. I mean, he's been sneaky as hell. Probably taking his time to sneak around something.
And it just so happens that you are correct. But do you want to do anything while you're waiting?
Well, if we do anything to get closer, then we get noticed by the skulls.
That is a distinct possibility.
If we only had some very powerful dispel magic for those things.
It could work. Because they are animated by spell.
Or it could totally backfire.
Or you could just kill them.
That's also an option, but yeah, I don't have enough spell slots to let me elevate them all. Yeah, I just have
Permanently, maybe not, but you could get past them if you wanted to. I mean, it's up to you.
Do you need us really that badly?
It's up to you. I'm not gonna say anything.
I can, but
If Howler dies, then that's his fault. He snuck ahead too far. That'll be his punishment.
I asked Lucius and Explo if they have any magic that could perhaps help out with quickly dealing with these pests.
Okay, you can look at their spell list.
Okay, just give me some time.
Okay,
getting
I'll
late.
switch back to Howler for a minute.
It's also getting late here, so I want to call it quits as well soon, if that's okay with you guys.
Yeah, how about another 13 minutes?
Sure.
The next half hour. Okay, I'll let you look at their spell list. And Howler, you continue down another area, into another area. And
Very
you
quietly,
hear...
looking for traps and looking for the mole at the same time, in case it
Okay.
comes boring up.
Make an investigation check.
Investigation. That's 17.
Okay. You see that there is like a visible bump in the ground where the mole is going. Unfortunately, the mole has more movement speed than you have. Even underground.
Yeah.
So you're not catching up to it. Especially not in stealth.
Yeah, I'm not trying to catch up to it currently.
But eventually you get to another slightly lit like chamber or larger area that's been dug out. Approximately 200 feet from the other chamber that you were just at.
Yeah. You notice anything in this chamber? Any other creature?
Alright, I'm gonna need you to roll a stealth first. See if someone sees you in the chamber mouth, just sort of poking in. Wow, not that great.
So 35.
Alright, you managed to keep to the shadows. You peek in, and you see what looks like a large hollowed out cavern, and it has scaffolding everywhere. There's like stairs that go up, and then like wooden platforms, and then stairs that go up to another floor, and there's wooden poles holding all this up. There's maybe 10 different platforms. It's a huge room, an open expanse underground. It looks reminiscent of what you've been told about the Underdark. There's mushrooms in this area. There's lots of like weird plants that are glowing with luminescence. And some of them are even holding up platforms that people are standing on doing various tasks, or at least from your perspective what look like people doing various tasks. But there are also weird creatures and monsters that are just sort of wandering
Do they look
around.
like people, like not covered in shadow and stuff, or what type of people?
There's nobody you've seen so far in the necromancer's lair has been covered in shadow.
Okay.
Not a single one. So
all right then. I will try and get towards the 120 feet within one of these people working. One of the ones on the outskirts, maybe.
Okay. You start getting closer to him. You hide behind a luminescent mushroom, and I'll get you to roll another stealth check.
That's 31.
Alright. You hide behind this luminescent mushroom, and the light probably is bright enough to blind anyone looking directly at where your current position is. So you feel that you're hidden.
So I will message this guy. What? Drow? Something else?
Sorry, you sort of cut out for me.
What did he look like? Like a drow or a durgar or?
I'll get you to make a medicine check. since you're familiar that there are zombies around. I think it looks fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, he looks fine.
No, not like that. I'm just like, what race? Like, is he drow? Is he
that was
elf?
my first clue, that he looks alive, first of all.
Okay. Yeah.
Second of all, he's just sort of hammering on another part of scaffolding nearby. And you look up at where maybe the scaffolding would be placed to see what they were trying to get to. And it appears that there's some sort of blue, some sort of weird blue ichor, maybe, if you know what I mean by that. That is on the ceiling. Ichor is like a thick substance. Kind of like a
Yeah, I know what ichor is.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. I just thought that you might not have known. Anyway, they seem to be building this scaffolding up to these things, and then they're harvesting it with these weird creatures that they have walking around.
But then ask you what this thing is they're harvesting?
Make a nature check. And I'm just going to warn you, it's a high one.
Yeah, I will need all the guidance I can have. That's 2 extra, so 18.
You're not entirely sure, but it looks like, it doesn't look like something that would grow here. Or anywhere, maybe even. You're not sure. You'd have to get a little closer.
Okay.
Because you're 150 feet away from a dude who is underneath this thing that's way above him. So it's quite the distance, but it's like this thick substance that's hanging from the ceiling. And it seems to be emanating from somewhere, but it doesn't look like a natural thing that would be in this area, this type of area.
I will just send a message to this person on outside, and I will ask him, so how would you like to rate the shadow from a 1 to 10?
Alright.
10 if you're very comfortable with it, 1 if you're working against it actively.
Alright. He turns his head to look around, and you realize that your medicine check was incorrect.
Okay.
The other side of his face is just like a skull with no skin on it. And he just sort of looks over and looks the other way. He doesn't know where the message was sent from.
Yeah.
And he does respond with something, and he says, "Does the master have orders?"
The master has indeed orders. Bring all the supplies you've gathered into the chamber up ahead.
And just as you're about to finish sending this message, you hear what sounds like something digging in the cavern below, and you hear the scratchy voice of the creature.
I will then proceed to tell them the mole has turned on us. That your brethren kill it. The master commands it.
And he starts shouting out, "Something attacked me! It hurt a lot!" And everyone in this chamber just sort of turns and looks at him. And he points, "They were from there! Make sure there's guards over there! Whatever it was, is gonna come this way, probably. I don't know." And then a contingent of these weird creatures starts moving towards the entrance of the cavern. Which you are approximately 70 feet away from.
How many?
7 of them. And each of them are being ridden by what looks like a humanoid undead.
Well, I'll just... from what I've seen, does it seem like this creature is controlling all of them? So would, like, this creature have this magic item? what they can gather?
Perhaps. It's at least powerful enough to yell at these things and they pay attention.
Well, I believe.
And I'll just let you know that it is true that shadow creatures don't always externally show that they're shadow creatures.
Yeah. I'm just gonna this place where they're gathering things. Like, where are they taking it to? Or are they just building a base here? Like, what's happening?
There are things moving in your direction, but I will allow you to look while they're moving in your direction. So I'll need you to make a perception check. I'm just letting you know that because you're not going to have infinite chances to do it, to look at this area.
That's 12.
With a 12, you look at this, and there is an obvious, like, some of these larger... And this one that you're looking at is obviously undead. This large creature. They're using it like a pack animal. It has one of those wooden beams on it that it has those ropes on it that are holding buckets. And it appears to be walking to a hall further down, deep in this underdark area.
Okay, how far is it to go back to the way I came? Or back the way I came? How long?
Well, to get to the cavern where you would be in the dark again is approximately 70 feet. Then there's the 200.
No,
then there's
I'm
the
thinking
cavern
about
behind that and all that stuff.
Like, how long would it take me to get back to where this cave entrance began? Back to the altar and stuff?
Back to the, where the altar
Back to
is
the-
and,
Yeah.
back on the necromancer's map?
Yeah.
Okay. That would take you about 10 minutes, maybe. As long as you're being
Okay.
stealthy. If you're not being stealthy, you could probably just book it easily.
Okay, and
Get there
how
in a few
far away
minutes.
is this hallway? Like, if I were to move towards that hallway, how long would that take?
To move towards the hallway behind you?
No, the one further ahead where they're taking the stuff.
Oh, that hallway. All the way down there. If you wanted to go down there, it's a gigantic room. This room is beyond measure. Like, at least without actually measuring it. It's a huge room, is what I'm trying to imprint on you.
Yeah.
Because there's like 20-story scaffolding that they're building up towards these things that they're trying to harvest.
Because what I'm thinking is maybe if I manage to steal this thing, then we won't have to fight them here.
It's true. You could try. But you have a feeling that as soon as that thing gets touched by someone else, the person who has it under their control might notice. So it's basically
they might.
if you're breaking into a museum and the most prized artifact is just sitting out in the open, there's probably an alarm attached to it.
Yeah, but from what I understand from the necromancer, they will probably notice because like somebody else has the artifact that they can't like just throw it on the undeads, but they wouldn't immediately know like this guy took it or he's over there, like so it would be able
Well, they
to
would know
sneak
where
away
they
with
put
it.
the artifact last.
Yeah, that's
So-
fine, but they wouldn't like immediately know where. When I have the
Yeah,
artifact,
you could
I think.
potentially hide, if that's what you're asking.
Yeah.
Guys,
Yeah, I hear you.
I-
I'm gonna get to you in just like half a second. So you're gonna
Okay.
try to get to the other side of this.
Depends
take
how
you
long does it take.
It would take you about, if you're being stealth, depending on if somebody's looking in your direction, those sorts of things. Like, at certain points, you're going to need to be out in the open, and then dart behind things. It could take you between 20 minutes and half hour to get across this room.
Okay. I'm still thinking of doing it.
Okay, I'll let you think on that for next time.
Yeah.
However, Geo, Zeroscon,
Mhm.
have you
Uh,
decided that you wanted to attack those people?
I've checked Lucius and my sheets. We could take them all 5 out, but that would mean we have no 3rd level spell slots, meaning I mostly have only 2nd and 1st level spell slots.
Okay. So, are you going to attack them? I just want to know for next time before we cut out.
Could you do it without us, Ben?
Well, I mean, currently, because you guys didn't want to sneak past or anything, and you want to scout out the tunnel ahead, so it's what I'm doing. You never said how far, how long.
Yeah,
And
I'm
what you
just
could
letting
do,
you know, Howler. There are hundreds of people in this cavern.
They can't see me.
If
if you want to grab the artifact, come back to us and be like, we can head out, and be my guest.
That would be amazing, is what I'm thinking. Like, it's probably won't work out.
I'll say that it's
Could.
possible, but probable. It's up to you if you want to try.
He's going to do mission improbable.
Let's see. No,
I'll just say
might
that
have a
what
plan.
you're planning so far, like that you want to get past this room, is possible.
Yeah.
There are going to be other things in the way. There's not just this. But this was a big thing that you were supposed to try to get past. But, there are other things. It's not just this even.
Yeah,
Fine.
Lucius. Yeah,
So you
Lucius
can
and
try to
Zeus.
continue, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, Lucius and Zeus gonna have to be casting dispel magic one after the other.
Which you
But
can
then
do if you want. But you could
Then
just beat them up and then go past them.
Yeah.
That is a thing you can do.
So,
Because they don't reanimate for an hour.
yeah, that's also something.
That would mean they will reanimate whenever.
So basically, you could just beat them up and then run really far away, and then when they reanimate, then they won't know where you are because they wouldn't have seen where you went.
Yeah, or I could use my paladin spells of remove curse to cast it on them. Be like, be gone, and be gone.
Or another option, you could just get lucky and I'll let you know when they're bloodied, and then you could just radiant damage them with your smites, if that's what you wanted
Which
to do.
still costs me a spell slot, so
Yeah,
it's
but you
either
could
spell
use
slot or
your
spell slot,
minimum
yeah.
spell slot if you wanted.
Yeah.
So then instead of using your higher, you could use your lower.
Yeah, that's very true.
So, I mean, it's up to you if you want to attack these things.
I say we head to war.
Okay, so you're going to attack them next time?
Yep.
Alright, so that's what will happen next time.
Unless Preben and Lucius are there and say, no, we're going to do this smartly, I'm going to be like, fine, no war.
Okay. So, the current plan is to attack them, but if somebody brings up a good counterpoint, then you'll not do it. Okay.
Yep.
Well, we'll see what happens next time.